Parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Show off to the world. Ask your eczema specialist about Dupixent.
Your skin is ever changing. Take care of it. With Gold Bond's Age Renew formulations of 7 moisturizers and 3 vitamins for all your skins. Gold Bond.
Look at that Wendy's breakfast burrito. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, sausage. Gotta hand it to the tortilla. That sucker's holding on for dear life. The boss of breakfast, gotta be Wendy's.
I want a name. Stay tuned for Chicago PD on My Network TV.
2 News, First Alert Weather. Utah's choice for a reason.
It's a rematch of the last 2 state 6A championship games. 2 years ago, Skyridge claimed their first state title by defeating Corner Canyon. And last year, the Chargers returned the favor. Tonight, Corner Canyon attacks the Falcons with quarterback Helaman Kasuga leading the way. He's got 15 touchdown passes already. Skyridge countering with a punishing defense led by senior edge Deshaun Lolo, who leads a group that has piled up 11 sacks and 3 picks on the year. It's an epic battle between 2 of the top 5 teams in the state, and it's coming your way right now on Friday Night Rivals.
America First Credit Union Friday Night Rivals, presented by R.C. Willey.
Good evening and welcome to a little Friday Night Football. And oh my goodness, if we got a good one for you tonight as Skyridge and Corner Canyon meet again. We're accustomed to seeing these 2 teams in championship games. This is just the setup. We'll see how it all plays out. Great to have you along. Dave Fox, along with Lemma Harrington. Frank Dolce will join us on the field shortly. And let's just jump right to the quarterbacks. Both these offenses like to get out and throw the ball. We'll start with Helaman Kasuga. We saw him last week against Farmington, but man, what a blessing he's been for this Corner Canyon team.
Oh, absolutely. Of course, he transfers in from Timpview, and he comes in. He's got to learn a new offense, but he's picking it up quickly. He's a great leader on the field. Sometimes you concern yourself about whether or not he's going to be accepted and embraced by the rest of the team. That is not a problem. You continue to see him develop and mature in the Coach Care system. That will continue tonight.
Opening night, we had this Skyridge team against Timpview. Keneal Sweetwine taking over at quarterback. Struggled a little bit. You said during that broadcast, he's going to get better and better and better, and he has done that.
I think the comment I made, let me see him in week 6.
Yeah,
well, we're almost there. And he continues to mature and develop. These quarterbacks are both juniors, but Kasuga's been starting since he was a freshman. Sweetwine, this is his first season starting, so he's got a little maturity and development that happens really this season. This is going to be a very important game for Keneal Sweetwine, and his success, or I should say, the success of his team will depend a lot on his success tonight, Dave.
Well, we shall see, and we are excited to bring you this one. It's a marquee matchup in the shadows of the Wasatch Mountains, and it's coming your way right now. It's Corner Canyon. It's Skyridge on Friday Night Rivals.
There is nothing like a Wendy's Frosty. It's cool. It's creamy. It's only $1 right now. Wait, what? The one and only Frosty is $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
I am Dallin Brashears, and I have been with the Young Automotive Group my entire life. We pride ourselves on being a family business with family values. It's a place where you can give back. We share ideas. It's a place where you feel valued. We've had more and more people with opportunities to provide for their families and give back to their community. We want everybody to succeed. We feel like a family here, and then having our customers feel like our family as well. It's my absolute favorite part of the Young Automotive Group.
The challenges of college are easier to overcome when you're embraced by community. Surrounded by beauty. inspired by quality, and empowered by opportunity. It's all here at Weber State. Find your brilliance.
If you like it hot, then you're ready for the Volkswagen Savvy Summer Sales Event at Big Old Strong Volkswagen. New Atlas with 0.9% financing for 60 months. Or a $3,500 customer bonus. New Tiguan 1.9% for 60 months. Or a $2,500 customer bonus. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty, no charge. At Strong Volkswagen, strongvw.com.
Schedule a free pre-measure today. RC Willie.
You know you can trust Victor's tires. When it's time for new brakes, trust Victor's. Does your vehicle need new shocks or struts? Come to Victor's for service you can trust. And of course, Victor's can help you finance your repairs. Victor's Tires, the place you can trust.
There is nothing like a Wendy's Frosty. It's cool. It's creamy. It's only $1 right now. Wait, what? The one and only Frosty is $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
America First Credit Union's Friday Night Rivals is brought to you by the University of Utah, Mr. Mack, RC Willie, and Strong Auto. The Falcons of Skyridge taking the field here at home against Corner Canyon. And Corner Canyon making a big entrance themselves. Ready to rumble. Let's go down to Frank Dolce. He's with Falcons head coach Justin Hem. Frank.
All right, Coach. Well, an early season matchup that we love, a rivalry game. How important is this game early in the season?
This is a great test for us. You know, Corner Canyon's a well-coached team, and for us, it's an exciting Friday night. Beautiful. What else can you ask for?
Nothing else.
Absolutely.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
There you go. Thanks so much, Frank. Coach's Corner brought to you by Wendy's. $1 small frosty deal. Try our fan favorite smooth, thick, mouth-watering dessert for just $1. There's the Falcon. Let's take a look at our keys to the game. 11th, brought to you by America First Credit Union. What do you got for us?
Well, for Corner Canyon, it's going to be about running wild. That means establish the ground game, but I'd like to see Helaman Kasuga really run that cornerback dive, cornerback draw, continue to improve on that play in the Coach Care offense. For Skyridge, you got to protect QB1. Keneal Sweetwine, fantastic quarterback. Give him time. Make him feel like he's got protection. You do that, and he'll find targets.
Keys to the game brought to you by America First Credit Union. America First, proud to support high school athletics and your local community. Become a member today. Saw Coach Whittingham down here in the corner of the stadium just a few minutes ago. Keeping an eye on things.
I hope he's keeping an eye on Cam Rising and that tricky finger.
Yeah, no kidding. Utah State University kickoff, the state's #1 student experience on campus. Speaking of Utah and Utah State, they got a little game tomorrow up in Logan. And we are underway, and this kick will be fielded and returned. Tavion Edwards. And Edwards up past the 20, where he is met by a pile of Wise jerseys. It'll be 1st and 10 for Skyridge at the 22-yard line. We'll take a look at our players to watch. Brought to you by Robert J. DeVry for the Skyridge offense.
Well, if you're talking about Skyridge, we already talked about Keneal Sweetwine. He is going to be your QB. Everybody's got their eyes on him. Also, keep an eye on Hunter Sheffield, one of the top targets for Sweetwine. And then Zayden Selu is the guy that will carry the bulk of the rushing plays for Skyridge.
And just as you said, coming right out of the gate, Zayden Selu, nearly 300 yards rushing this season, 5 touchdowns, gets the first carry of the game. And right off the bat, he's got a strong auto first down. There's Corner Canyon's players to watch.
Well, you got a couple of defensive backs, Diesel Dart and Brock White. And you also got Mason Wood. He's one of their top linebackers.
Darius Afalava is a guy.
How about that for a pancake block?
Did you see that on play number 1?
First down again, Selu. Look at him. Look at the patience. Ends up getting 4 yards out of it.
I'm just looking over the offensive line, Alema.
Yeah.
I mean, that is one massive group of humanity.
Yeah, that is, as they say, That's ridiculous.
They say that on the islands?
Yep.
All right.
There's a good look in Mataali Benjamin, 6'7", 325.
Second down, 6. Little screen pass set up nicely. And first down yardage, Boston Sorensen and much more. He's across midfield and down near the 40-yard line, the senior.
Well, Sweetwine took a shot from Otuafi on that play, and he was looking at the refs like, are you guys going to throw a flag on this? But a great job getting the ball out. Real simple play. Just get the ball in the hands of one of your playmakers. And Boston Sorensen with a nice run after catch.
19 yards on the pickup. And this Falcons offense on the move. Silu again. And another good carry. That's a 6-yard pickup.
Great push on that left side of the line this time. Ben Howard, Luke Davies. We talk about the importance of good yardage on first down for any offense. And I think, Frank, you had mentioned, we had a conversation off camera about the importance for Sweetwine to get some support from his running backs.
Absolutely. Second down, 4. This time the keeper. And Sweetwine chooses wisely. And he's got another strong auto first down.
Well, the continued development for Sweetwine, his first year as a starter, is to be able to run the ball well. You've got that little fly sweep action and then puts his shoulder square to the line of scrimmage, puts his head down and picks up good yardage.
13 yards on the pickup. And first down, Silu again. And I know we're early in the game, but he's getting 4 or 5 yards every time he touches the ball.
Mason Wood that time on the stop in a linebacker position. Talked a bit about him as one of our players to watch. That linebacking core for Corner Canyon.
Second down, 6.
6 inches.
Justin Hem, the head coach and offensive coordinator, when he was brought over here by John Lehman, now the athletic director. He came in as the OC and spent a year doing that, and after they won the title, he took over. Silu, and Silu lowers the boom. He's got another first down, and he's into the University of Utah red zone, always climbing to reach their goal of unsurpassed impact, the University of Utah.
Great blocking up front once again. Look at number 73, that's Benjamin, and his ability to seal that edge allows him to get good first down yardage.
Silu's just been the workhorse in this game, and that's his shortest carry yet. It's a couple.
Yeah, on this drive, really, Sweetwine's only pass was that short pass to Boston Sorensen. Effectively a screen pass.
Silu's done the rest. Well, Sweetwine had the one run as well.
Come on, Monet.
Pass caught over the middle, down to the 5-yard line goes Davis Fyans, and Fyans has him inside. Yeah, it's first to goal at the 5.
And wide open underneath coverage here. Great job finding that soft spot in the zone, and spotting up.
Alema, when you can get that run game going, it just softens up the defense for the passing game, and they've only had to throw it a couple times, but super effective.
Jared Iacopo is in the backfield now, where Silu was. And Sweetwine's going to keep this one, and he's tripped up. Good tackle there by Keaton Adamson.
Yeah, that time Adamson able to get to his feet and trip him up. Sweetwine is 6'4". Sometimes can, look a little awkward as he runs because he's just so tall. But watching them in warm-ups earlier, watching them do that that quarterback draw, he's certainly an effective runner.
Silu's still not in the game, but instead, Iacopo.
And the ball.
Yeah, they're saying Corner Canyon says they have
the ball out. I saw the ball out. And there's no official call right now. They're just calling the ball down. And now it is Corner Canyon. I saw the ball out under the pile.
Well, Skyridge marches all the way down. They get to the 2-yard line and fumble the football. Tough break for the Falcons, but a big defensive stop. Talk about bend but don't break. You just saw it on American First Credit Union's Friday Night Rivals.
You know you can trust Victor's tires. When it's time for new brakes, trust Victor's. Does your vehicle need new shocks or struts? Come to Victor's for service you can trust. And of course, Victor's can help you finance your repairs. Victor's Tires, the place you can trust.
Your favorite comic and pop culture convention is bringing celebrities from all of your favorite fandoms to your backyard. September 26th through the 28th, this is your chance to get a photo opportunity or autograph from your favorite TV and movie actors. Check out the cosplay, free panels, comic artists, authors, vendors, and more. Plus, children 10 and younger are free with an adult ticket. Use promo code UTAH for a limited time discount.
You know you can trust Victor's tires. Trust Victor's for all your service and repairs. And of course, that includes flat repairs. From oil changes to alignments, repairs, and tune-ups, Victor's has you covered. Victor's Tires, the place you can trust.
Hard to see it here. There's all kinds of just bodies, and you're trying to track. But the ball comes out before the knee is down. The officials were on top of it. The ball is out, recovered by Corner Canyon. So after a long initial drive from Skyridge, the ball turns over to Corner Canyon. Get a chance to see Helaman Kasuga.
So Robert J. DeBry, you make the call, Lemma.
I'm going to sustain.
He sustains. There you go. All right, Kasuga in his own end zone, and he's going to be throwing it right out of the end zone and incomplete. So second down. Let's look at the players to watch. Brought to you by Robert J. DeBry for the Corner Canyon offense.
Well, you got Kreishawn Lee. He is a great receiver and one of the big targets for Helaman Kasuga. And Kai Meza is also one of these guys that you know that Kasuga is going to be looking for. He's looking for 45 and 16 and try to get the ball in the hands of his playmakers.
Second down, Kasuga again. That pass is a little too high as he overshot Meza. Let's take a look at the defensive players to watch for Skyridge. Brought to you by Robert J. DeBry.
Well, Toilolo is just this impressive kid off the edge. Got good speed, good instincts. Griffin Kuntz, 24 tackles, leading the team coming into this game at linebacker along with Noah Bird.
Big third down here. Kasuga still in his end zone. Line to gain is just shy of the 14-yard line.
Plenty of time on the play clock.
Kasuga to throw. That pass is caught. And that should be first down yards. Depending on where I think they can spot it. Might be about a yard shy. No, they're moving. First down.
Yeah, Kreishawn Lee did a great job. We talk about this a lot in high school, telling receivers, you got to get to your mark. Get to the line to gain. Kreishawn Lee did it that time.
And again, another first down as they continue to just march down the field with Lee.
Yeah, two plays that look pretty bad to start this drive, and all of a sudden 2 more plays, and there's 2 first downs. So maybe this offense is rolling.
Talk about needing to just settle in. And the first run of the game will pick up 3 yards.
It looks like a limit that Skyridge is playing a 3-down lineman front, but they keep bringing a linebacker, so it's creating a 4-man rush every time, and you just don't know which gap where the linebacker is going to blitz.
That kind of time, nice kind of little edge support from Griffin Kuntz from his linebacker position.
Mason Brady got that carry, the senior back, and here he goes again. And Brady, he gets to the second level. Finally run down, but not before he gets all the way down to the 34-yard line. 38 yards.
Nice hole up front, and then he'll do the rest. Makes the right decision, keeps it kind of in the center of the field, and finds as much yardage as he can get.
Brighton Brady, their stud running back, injured in the IMG game. At the time, he had 284 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns, but hasn't played since. And, of course, Jerome Miles, number one recruit in the state of Utah, he's been out as well, the wide receiver. But you talk about the next man up. They have stepped up for this team. Last week we had them against Farmington. They won that one 42-7. And Kasuga's pass, oh, he was under duress and hit after he threw it, and that came out high and hot.
He had to get rid of that one, Alema. He didn't have much time.
Yeah, pressure coming from that defense from Skyridge. They were in the space in a hurry.
So second down 10. Goes and gets the low snap. Ooh, that pass. What a pass, though. Went right through one of the hands of the Falcons. And ends up a reception for Drew Watcott.
Watcott, great route runner. Spent a lot of his younger years on special teams. Now as a senior, getting plenty of time on as a receiver. And that was a ball that was tipped, deflected. And to be able to maintain focus and haul it in, nice job by Watcott.
First down yardage again, and this time the defensive pursuit stops him a yard shy.
On the stop, number 0, Deshaun Carlulo. Without Camilla Bird, 17.
Yeah, that was Watcott getting, I think, hit in the backfield. There's a great penetration. Good look at Deshaun Lolo right there. This guy is a force to be reckoned with.
So after a 2-yard loss, second and 12. Mason Brady still in the backfield. Kasuga's pass caught over the middle, and Meza just shy. 3rd and 2 coming, but he is into the University of Utah red zone.
And for Corner Canyon, this is 4-down territory.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seems like more and more offenses are building their offense to be 4 downs inside their own territory, and 3rd down is about setting up 4th.
Yeah.
Kasuga pass high again, trying to hit Meza.
Looked like a little miscommunication between Kasuga and his wide receiver as he pointed downfield after the play. Offense will stay on the field.
Yeah, here comes that 4th down you were talking about. 4th and 3. And they jumped.
Mulafile knew immediately.
Yeah, he knew it. Kelly Woodbray, our referee. All right, so first down yardage on the freebie. There's Kasuga's pass again, came out just a little high.
Yeah, he looks just a little off, Alema.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know if it's nerves, maybe amped for this game. This is a big game. It's not like he hasn't played in big ones because, of course, that IMG game, I don't know if it gets any bigger than that. Then followed up by Lone Peak, disappointing loss for Corner Canyon. So he's been in big games, both here at Corner Canyon and, of course, with Timpview.
2nd and goal. And Kasuga again, this time he's trying to go corner and he overshoots. And even he's, rocking his head back going, oh, man, I'm just a little off.
He just said to himself, I think I'm a little off. Well, Corner Canyon has a terrific screen game, and that's an easy pass to complete.
Third down. Kasuga outside open. Corner. Got it. Lee, touchdown.
Great route by Lee. He pushes that thing up and gets some cushion and then is able to break it off a little more of a shallow going towards the front of the end zone. And that time Kasuga was right on target.
Point after is up and good. And after Skyridge marched all the way down the field and fumbled, Corner Canyon gets the ball and goes 98 yards for the score. Kasuga to lead 7-0 on American First Credit Union's Friday Night Rivals.
The University of Utah is set against the Wasatch Mountains. We ski, ride, and climb those mountains. As one of the leading research universities in the nation, we are working to eradicate cancer, seeking solutions for climate change, helping people walk again, and transforming mental health care. Our mission is to create unsurpassed societal impact. Sound lofty? It comes with the territory.
You're even prettier than the day we met.
Thanks, babe.
Your Honour, I object to this entire line of questioning on the grounds that it is not only irrelevant, but it also seeks to prejudice the jury against my client by introducing speculative and unfounded...
By the power of Keltron, I cast Magic Missile!
You're the youest you in your home. So make it your home, your way with RC Willey.
This memorable moment is brought to you by Young Automotive. In 2020, Skyridge led Corner Canyon by 12 and looked to make it a 3-score game. But a fumble at the goal line recovered by the Chargers changed everything. Jackson Dart caught fire in the fourth quarter, hitting Noah Kerr for a TD, then followed it up with a touchdown to Cody Hagan for a 3-point lead. Corner Canyon's defense got the stop on the doorstep during the final play of the game, completing their 35th straight win and a thrilling 29-26 comeback. This memorable moment is brought to you by Young Automotive.
Hilame Kasuga, quarterback, Corner Canyon High School, class of 2026. I want to shout out to all the amazing women in my life. I'd like to dedicate this song to you. Some people want it all. I just want it all. If it ain't you, baby.
Uh-oh. I mean, I think Helaman thinks his backup singers might have been a little off key.
Yeah.
How about that? There's our scoring summary brought to you by Cafe Rio. We had an unbelievable number of teams just wanting to sing this year.
Yeah.
We've shared a bunch of those.
We need to have a karaoke night.
Yeah.
You know, that was Alicia Keys, right? That's Alicia Keys.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, how about this return? Tavion Edwards. Good yardage all the way up to the 37-yard line. We showed you that scoring drive brought to you by Cafe Rio. Dig deep into flavor. Cafe Rio. I think they have a Cafe Rio here. 32 yards on the reach.
37.
Great blocking, but he gets out of this. He just keeps the legs kicking, driving. Nice return.
Oh. You got to turn off that mic before he blows the whistle. He almost blew my eardrum out.
All right, first down. Keneal Sweetwine, the junior quarterback, marched his team all the way down near the goal line on the last drive. It was a lot of Jaden Selu. And in this case, this short pass is going to pick up maybe 2 yards before Jaden Talawega is there to shut it down.
So short crossing route. Great job by the linebackers. Guys disciplined in their zones.
Cody Gardner, the defensive coordinator for Corner Canyon. They have 4 sacks this year. You know what they don't have, which is a little uncharacteristic?
Yeah, no interceptions.
They don't have an interception yet.
Or a takeaway.
Yeah, how about
takeaways.
that? All right, second down. And they'll pick up another 3 or 4 yards. So we got a 3rd and 4 coming up.
short gain, ran into Holiday and Nagel.
So big third down here. They need 4. Justin Hem sending in the final instructions. And Sweetwine ready to go. There's the option. Can he get the edge? He does. It's a first down. Saw the big line, and Nate Holiday couldn't decide if he wanted to go with Silu or hold his ground. Or excuse me, Iakopo, and he ends up leaping for the first.
Yeah, just get Silu on the edge.
Sweetwine, plenty of time. Beautiful pass right downfield. Another strong auto first down.
Wow, that was a beautiful pass. He's able to just put that over the top of the linebackers in front of the safety. Well placed.
Davis Fryan's off to a good start. 16 yards on that pickup. Fryan's already got 3 receptions for 27 yards. Showing pressure. Here it comes. Sweetwine gets that ball out of his hands in a hurry, and Braylon Sidwell is going to be about 2 yards shy. And again, just like their first drive, Skyridge marching down the field.
Paxton Nagel came all the way from a defensive line spot, read the screen, and was able to get out there and help make the stop.
Iakopo in the backfield now, and Sweetwine keeps, and nothing doing. That Tate Patterson, you talk about running right into someone. So another big third down, 3rd and 4. Line to gain is the 25. Silu back in. Third down, Silu's got it. Silu trying to get that first down, and he's got it and more. And Silu, oh, he's been good today. And he's into the University of Utah red zone.
Well, Silu on this play just does a really nice job of setting up blocks and then maintaining balance. You watch as he goes off to the left side. He's got a great block in front of him by Ben Howard. And then he's able to stay on his feet.
18 yards on the pickup. We approach the end of the first quarter. 29 seconds to play here. And Sweetwine. Look, he's going to take off. Sweetwine gets some blockers downfield. He's a tough one to bring down. He's a big kid.
I'll tell you, Skyridge coaches are holding their breath on plays like that.
Yeah.
Well, you saw Dustin Otuafi hit him, but he went the other way.
We saw Tua Tagovailoa do something like that and knock himself out the other day.
Yep.
That was a shot right there from Otuafi. And at 6'4", he is a huge target for defenses to come up and put a lick on.
Well, that's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter. Corner Canyon has the lead right now, but Skyridge, the Falcons, the home team, is knocking out the door. There's the Corner Canyon Chargers. And the touchdown pass from Kasuga on American First Credit Union's Friday Night Rivals.
Utah State University alum Michael Scott Peters took on the world's toughest issues. As the United Nations Youth Observer, Michael advocated for underserved populations. He led youth in an effort to end extreme poverty, fight inequality, and protect communities.
I'm an Aggie. I empower youth to take action on worldwide issues.
It's your thing. Do what you wanna do. I can't tell you who to sock it to. It's your thing. Do what you wanna do.
Your favorite comic and pop culture convention is bringing celebrities from all of your favorite fandoms to your backyard, September 26th through the 28th. This is your chance to get a photo opportunity or autograph from your favorite TV and movie actors. Check out the cosplay, free panels, comic artists, authors, vendors, and more. Plus, children 10 and younger are free with an adult ticket. Use promo code UTAH for a limited time discount.
The Missionary Starter Package at Mr. Mac. It's everything a missionary needs at an unbeatable value. The package includes 1 slim or modern fit suit, 4 and collar stretch shirts, 3 Teflon treated washable ties, 1 mission belt, and a pair of Echo or Johnston & Murphy walking shoes. All for just $5.95. And fit is never a problem with free alterations for a lifetime. Ask for the Missionary Starter Package at all 9 Mr. Mac stores.
Carrie Anderson, she's been an active, engaging, and supportive parent, president of the school's community council. Tremendous amount of time she's donated to students, faculty, and the community. You know, to be your best, it starts with getting a good night's rest. And Brenna Willerson from R.C. Willey is here to present Carrie with a Bedgear Linea High Loft pillow to get a good night's rest. Thank you, Carrie Anderson, for going the extra mile. R.C. Willey, your home, your way. Still waiting on our pillows.
I'd like a pillow.
Yeah, the problem is you'd use it now and you'd be asleep. All right, here we go. Back to live action on the ground inside the 5-yard line. It will not be a first down, so they're going to have the ball at about the 3-yard line. 3rd and 1. And 3 yards from the end zone. Here
Good blocking up front. Selu just kind of picking his way through that hole.
And on 3rd down, Selu gets it again, pushes. He's got the first down. I believe that far official looked like he had enough of that, so it should be 1st and goal from just inside the 2. But let's get the official word. They may not. Oh, he backed it up a little.
He did back it up.
He's in down.
He's a football short.
Holy smokes.
4th and a football. This is the 2nd time that Skyridge has been in scoring position on a drive tonight, and it's only their 2nd drive of tonight. We'll see if they can manufacture points here.
Selu remains in the backfield. He's got the ball. He's got the push. He's right on the goal line. I don't think he got the touchdown, but he's got a first down. So it'll be 1st and goal. And Frank, you talk about the length of a football. I mean, the nose of that ball is going to be right on the goal line.
And shouldn't the quarterback just be able to stand up and reach it over? It just has to break the plane, right?
They're going to snap it back 5 yards. There they go. Oh, they fumbled again.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Oh, no. But Skyridge recovers.
That
was a mesh point fumble, wasn't it?
Well, no, that was a decision problem with Sweetwine trying to keep. I think Sweetwine was reading. Now he's trying to pull it out, and it just never got inside the gut of Selu.
Wow. Well, at least they avoided complete disaster by keeping the football. So here we go now, 2nd down and goal. Sweetwine's pass caught. Selu. And Selu sprints into the end zone.
I think you had to know that you were going to get flagged on that. That was a fully choreographed celebration in the end zone. But a well-designed, well-executed play, screen pass to Selu. Selu basically untouched. Great job selling all of the action and the activity on that play to the right side of the formation. Come back to Selu, who releases left side.
After the play, dead ball unsportsmanlike on the offense, number 79. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
It's Darius Afalava, the offensive lineman. Take a look.
Yeah, and Afalava, a great one, 6'5", 320. But if you have an entire choreographed celebration, then you have to anticipate, we know we're going to get a flag, we're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, there's no way you get away with that.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not spontaneous.
Okay, so I know the rules say that's a flag. That's a penalty.
Okay, I'm not saying I agree with the rule.
Okay, that's what I wanted to ask you guys. I wanted to ask both of you guys. Should that be a penalty?
No.
No. What do you do?
I don't think so either.
Cafe Rio scoring drive. 13 plays, 63 yards, and the 12-yard TD pass to Selu. You know, even the NFL, remember the NFL used to have that, and they finally lightened up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they used to call
college
it the no fun
is
league.
every bit as, maybe worse.
It's brutal.
Well, I think the difference between football and soccer is football, you usually celebrate with your team. Soccer, you run away from your team.
Yeah, but you have to get to the corner and then kick the flag down and jump, and then your whole team follows you over there. Slide. It's amazing how many times soccer players get injured in a game on the field of play and never when they're celebrating, because the celebrations look more egregious.
Oh, absolutely. That's probably the most dangerous play they have.
That's right. Well, my heavens, you get in trouble for putting a wristband on these days in high school football.
Yeah, it's gotten really tight.
All right, we'll see how this return sets up here and whether or not they pay for the penalty.
Well,
that is short.
It's definitely going to, obviously, he's going to help Corner Canyon's field position. I mean, even without the return that gets up past the 40.
Man, that's a price to pay right there, because what guy is a good return man, and he can put you out in great field position for Corner Canyon to start this drive.
Tonight's game brought to you by America First, Utah's #1 credit union. Join the winning team today at your neighborhood branch or at AmericaFirst.com. Well, so far we have got a good one. Remember, Skyridge has actually been down near the goal line twice. They got held once. All right, back we go with Helaman Kasuga and Corner Canyon. First pass out of the gate there is complete, and Scott Pepper hauls that one in.
Nice, simple pitch and catch between Kasuga and Pepper. Kasuga been a little bit off target in that first quarter, but was able to get things settled down, throws a touchdown pass, and now a nice pass completion on first down.
Kasuga again, and
tipped at the line of scrimmage.
Good coverage as well by Sam Pullman. That wasn't going to go anywhere, but actually it worked out better. They would have lost a couple of yards.
Yeah, great job. I think was that Malufau. They got a hand on it. Yeah, Malufau is able to get a hand and knock that ball, at least deflected.
Ball is right at the 50-yard line. They need 3 yards for a first. Try to get it on the ground. Brady stringing it out. Extra effort. He's got the first down and more. Excuse me, that was Jackson Caruth.
Yeah, really nice job bouncing that one out.
What a good crowd here. Both end zones have these grass berms.
Yeah, love this.
Filled with fans.
Great environment.
Just fantastic.
Home fans underneath Dave Fox.
Yep.
The Fox box.
Fox in a box. That pass thrown into a little bit of traffic. Lee can't go get it. Good coverage on the other side by Gennaro Guilford.
Guilford did a terrific job. He's supposed to be, it looked like he was going to trail the other receiver going downfield, but he saw the ball come out and he sat right down in his spot and was able to knock it away.
Familiar name. Same name as his dad.
Second down, Kasuga gets out of trouble, fires downfield to Lee. It's a touchdown for Corner Canyon. 42 yards.
Give a lot of credit to Kasuga stepping up, because Malufau was coming with his ears pinned back. He was able to buy some extra time and then put that one right where it needed to be to catch Lee in stride into the end zone.
I hope you appreciate what kind of pass that was.
Phenomenal.
Rolling to his right on a rope in stride into the end zone. That's a difficult throw to make.
Point after Davis Nelson. And that kick is up and good. Fans are being entertained right now. Check this one out. Kasuga gets himself out of trouble, unloads, and it's 6 for 45.
Schedule a free pre-measure today. RC Willie.
Mike seems to be having more fun with his money.
Really? Because you've got your book, and I'm roasting hot dogs and marshmallows. Yeah, they're probably having more fun.
Get your money working with a low-rate RV or power sports loan now at America First.
You know you can trust Victor's Tires. Trust Victor's for all your service and repairs. And of course, that includes flat repairs. From oil changes to alignments, repairs, and tune-ups, Victor's has you covered. Victor's Tires, the place you can trust.
America First Credit Union's Friday Night Rivals is brought to you by Sugar House Furniture, Ute Conference, Young Auto, and Utah State University. Hey, where's the Max Shack? There it is. 11 hanging at
And we are located right next to the barbecue chicken going on. I got
how much have you eaten?
Some family members over here cooking a barbecue chicken, and they also got some Kahlua pork. They put like coconut milk in the Kahlua pork. Frank, that was pretty good.
Yeah,
Frank had the Kahlua pork.
It was delicious.
Yeah.
I had the pork, and then Alema shared the chicken.
I did.
And we have a little sweet sauce and the rice and the mac.
Oh, it's delicious.
Mac
Good
salad.
stuff. Good stuff.
And they said, don't take any to Dave Fox.
I don't want it after you. Your grubby hands have touched it. Krishawn Lee, 4 receptions, 73 yards. Let me do the math for you. That's over 18 yards per catch. And 2 touchdowns. Early candidate for MVP, although it's hard to swing it away from Elam and Kasuga. He threw the passes. That last one was amazing.
That pass was unreal.
That's just crazy. And this kick is into the end zone for a Victor's Tires touchback. All right, let's take a look at our Cafe Rio scoring summary. 5 plays, 57 yards, just over a minute. 42-yarder to Lee. So Kasuga in this game has gone over 100 yards passing with that last one there. 7 of 15, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns. So 2 pretty good MVP candidates right there if Corner Canyon were to win it. On the other side, you've got Keneal Sweetwine, who has completed every pass he's thrown tonight, 6 for 6, and a touchdown. And what about Selu? Sweetwine 65 yards passing, and Selu 67 yards rushing. So those two have been the workhorse. And Sweetwine's pass downfield just barely misses Hunter Sheffield.
Trying to get that just a little bit quicker, a little bit lower.
You know,
placement was good.
He got a little pressure limit, and you saw the maturity as he stepped up into the pocket. He didn't bail out and tried to make that pass. Nice job there by Sweetwine, just a bit outside.
That was his first incompletion of the game. And Lemon Frank will tell you that's my fault for mentioning that he was 6 for 6 before that.
Why did you jinx him? I was going to say it when you said it, and then...
Oh, you were going to say it.
Yeah, but you're a player. You're a former player, Frank, so you know the rules.
So I didn't say it. That's right. Like 6 for 6, and then I was like, nope, I'm not going to say that. And then here comes Dave Fox trouncing all over the poor kid.
All he said was,
there's a good look at the berm over
look
here.
at that.
Kid sliding on the S.
That's phenomenal up there. Great seats, both ends of the stadium.
Timeout on the field.
By the way, shop RC Willey for the area's largest selection of furniture, mattresses, appliances, electronics, and flooring. Items are in stock right now at RC Willey.
Every RC Willey's got a section where they got markdowns and discounts. And I usually go directly there.
You have built your house on RC Willey.
Yes, indeed.
Let's take a look at our upcoming schedule, brought to you by McGee's Awards and Engravings. It's time to be recognized. Next week, we're going to a brand new school, Westfield. Always like to feature the new schools. Go visit them. Westfield, they're the Longhorns.
Oh, I love it. Are they burnt orange like the Longhorns?
Kind of like Mountain Crest.
Nice.
Mountain Crest more orange. And then Friday, Grantsville at Ben Lomond.
Wait, we're not doing Corner Canyon next week?
We're going to give them a week off. We'll get back to them, though. Don't worry about it.
We're almost getting ready to become the Corner Canyon Broadcast Network.
Well, it would help if they were still in the same region. Yeah. All right, third down. This is a big one. Keneal Sweetwine trying to make something happen. Firing downfield. It's caught for a first down. And Boston Sorensen. That is huge. A strong auto first down for Skyridge.
Yeah, I got to think that Sweetwine stepping up and being a threat to run. Keaton Adamson, who was in the secondary, guarding the receiver. Now watch Sweetwine comes up, and all of a sudden, the guy in the secondary might have to step up. And now you got an open man.
20 yards on the pickup there. And 4 more, maybe 5. They'll give him 4 on the first down carry for Selu.
Mason Wood from his linebacker spot making the tackle. Salu's been busy here in this first half.
He has 74 yards on 14 carries. Sweetwine's been busy as well. He's got 85 yards, 7 of 8 passing. Now that I can say, right? Because he's had one in place. So see, I helped out.
Okay. Once you jinx him, you can say whatever you like.
You don't double jinx him.
Okay, perfect. A wide open downfield, Boston Sorensen, and he's caught up. If that ball was hung up a little bit deeper, would have been a touchdown, but a big pickup anyway into the University of Utah red zone.
Yeah, you catch him in stride, and all of a sudden he's dancing in the end zone. But this is just a breakdown in the secondary.
Yeah.
And you saw the defenders from Corner Canyon looking at each other, and everybody's trying to figure out like what happened there. There was a breakdown, trying to figure out what it was.
43 yards on the pickup. Selu bounces off one tackle.
Yeah, going back to that last play, when the receiver is running by himself like that down the field, there's no one around him, and you're the quarterback, there's a thought that goes through your head that's like, I just got to get the ball to him. I can't overthrow him. I just have to get the ball to him. And so safety first in that scenario. 2nd and goal. And this time, Sweetwine keeps. It's going to set up a nice 3rd and 2 for the goal.
You line up with 3 receivers to the right side, then your play action is kind of a sweep action to that right side, and you're hoping to get everybody to flow, including linebackers, so that Sweetwine has just an open path up the middle. But good discipline by Corner Canyon. Nice gain, but not a touchdown.
Here we go. 3rd and goal. Selu in the backfield with Sweetwine. Selu's got the ball, and Selu's got the end zone. Oh, my word. What a game.
Nice blocking up front. Luke Davies, Ben Howard. Howard just closing that side down and giving some space for Selu to get into the end zone.
Blake Hester for the point after to tie this game up again. And his kick is up and good. We thought this would be a good one, and so far it certainly is that. 6 minutes to play here in the first half. And these two heavyweights, Skyridge ranked 4th, Corner Canyon ranked 3rd, going toe-to-toe on American First Credit Union's Friday Night Rivals.
Air quality in Utah can rank among the worst in the nation. To solve this, researchers at Utah State University collect organic compounds to run through a hydrocarbon analyzer. Their data helps government and industry reduce air pollution and its effects on public health.
I'm an Aggie. I'm working to improve Utah's air quality.
The core values that the Young Automotive Group has hits home with everything that I believe at heart. This is definitely a family business run by families. Take a look at me and my family.
We've seen how they've taken care of Mike, and we've always felt part of the automotive group. They treat us like family, and they care.
They promote from within, grow people, train, teach people.
They can see what their potential is, and they help.
How we get here is by taking care of each other and the customers on top of that.
This is a family business run by families.
Football starts with Ute Conference, and check this out. This is Skyline against Brighton. Jack Jensen.
Oh, that's my nephew.
Anybody signed this kid yet? Watch this one, 11. Going right. Finds the seam. Could he get it? Oh,
yeah. Hey,
almost got a horse collar.
Don't worry. I've seen all these highlights multiple times already.
You see the last kid tried to strip him?
Oh, he had a great game. 187 yards. You're saying, what? They're keeping stats?
This is the eye in the sky.
Youth Conference? No, yeah. They absolutely are. When your dad is coaching and he's marking down yardage. Go, Jack!
As 11 said, 187 4 touchdowns. If you're looking for the best gear, standout uniforms, logo gloves, intense competition, it's time to play football. Starts with Ute Conference. Find everything youth football at ucfootball.org. What do you got tomorrow, Lema?
Alta is going to be playing against Corner Canyon.
You get some pancakes.
Yep. I got one son that's playing at a home game in Alta, and then another son that's playing that against Corner Canyon at Corner Canyon.
Wow. And different times? Can you make both games?
One's at 9 o'clock, one's at 10:45.
Hey, I need some help. I don't know how to manage this. Riley called me the other day asking for an NIL deal for Jack.
With your shipping company?
Yeah. I'm not
like
sure.
it.
Well, back comes this Corner Canyon offense. Short kick, though. And we'll update you, though, on Selu. 92 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Watch the blocking from that left side of the line. You got Luke Davies and Ben Howard just collapsing that side of the defense and making it easy for Salem to get in.
Just a fun atmosphere here tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
At Skyridge.
I love the big games here because everybody comes out, they sit on the berm. This was well designed. Reminds me a little bit of like Juan Diego. There's different schools that have a good berm.
Suga let the running backs get a little bit of love, and Mason Brady on the carry there.
Taking the ball, number 25, Weston Briggs.
Kasuga's number 7 of 15. 102 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, a lot of those incompletions coming in the first quarter. He's settled down here.
Kasuga to throw. Deep. Oh, what a strong. Oh, is that intercepted? What a pick. Tavion Edwards.
How many times are we going to see something like that?
Just a great one-handed grab. Goes up, pulls it in, gets a foot down, and an interception.
Frank, you're referring to Robert Morris against Utah State.
I am. That still is the interception of the year.
I would agree.
Oh, no doubt.
Wow. And this one was spectacular, and the other one made this one look pretty pedestrian.
Well, big turnover.
Interception.
Here they come. Getting a little groundwork done, and it's another first down. A strong auto first down for Iacopo.
Hey, Alema, how did you describe the running game last night against Box Elder and Roy? I can't remember how you described that, but I thought it was very meaningful.
I can't remember what I said. I call it wasn't shifty.
No, and it wasn't twitchy either.
No.
Iacopo again.
Now, Iacopo is a twitchy, shifty runner. Salu's, mostly north and south. But when you bring in Iacopo, he's got a little bit of, he's got a juke, and he'll give you a dead leg, and he's got a bunch of moves in his arsenal.
And Corner Canyon hasn't really been able to slow down this Skyridge offense.
Sweetwine's pass complete again. Another first down and yardage for Davis Fyans.
Very simple route. Just spot up. Turn that thing outside. Get a nice block by Sidwell.
20 yards on the pickup. They continue to march down the field. Can they turn the turnover into points? Tie ball game, 4.5 to play. And Iacopo's been getting the bulk of the carries on this drive. Salu's at 80 yards rushing. Apparently giving him a little breather.
Yeah, Diesel Dart that time, just a sophomore stepping up and making the stop.
Diesel's brother is a pretty good quarterback, by the way. I'm not sure you two. He's at Ole Miss. Ole Miss.
It's old. You said old.
You said old again.
I just said Ole Miss.
No, you didn't.
You two are deaf.
You threw a D on the end of there.
I think he's just messing with us.
2nd and 4. Sweetwine keeps. There's a pitch. Big hit there. He's going to be stopped short. So 3rd down coming. And in this game, Skyridge is 4 of 5 on 3rd downs.
Speaking of Jackson Dart, it was fun to see some highlights of Dart when he played at Roy. We covered him. Similar to Kasuga, he was a starter as a freshman at Roy before moving up here and finishing his career at Corner Canyon. On his way to USC, then Ole Miss.
I mean, we followed him for years at Roy before he showed up at Corner Canyon. Sweetwine, quarterback option, and lowers head, and that should be enough for a strong auto first down. Move the chains. This is, I believe, the 3rd time they've had 1st and goal from the 10. I mean, they keep getting right. Usually it's 1st and goal from the 4, the 6, or something like that. They've been right on the 10-yard line 3 times now.
That was a very, I think, that was a very confident run from Keneal Sweetwine. And those are the things that he's benefiting game by game and continues to improve and mature and feel more confident and comfortable in this offense.
Salu back in the game. You saw Sweetwine's numbers there. 9 of 10, nearly 150 yards. They're going to try to run that reverse to Fyans, and that does not fool Corner Canyon one bit. Backs him up to the 12.
Otuafi was, he was tasked with holding that edge. He stays disciplined. He turns this play back inside, and that's where all the help was.
Justin Hem's going to get a timeout. Play clock was down to 4.
Skyridge, 2nd charge timeout.
They were not quite ready.
I think a good timeout, you want to make sure that you got the right play called here.
Let's go back to that interception one more time, because it's worth another look. Tavion Edwards.
Yeah, great position. And then goes up, one-hands it to bring it down. He had already turned around and was looking back at the quarterback, reading his eyes. Typically on a route like that, you don't get a chance to turn around and really see that thing coming in. But he had already shifted his head and was looking back at Kasuga.
That's his first interception on the season, 4th for this defense. Patrick Lees, by the way, defensive coordinator, you'll remember he was the acting head coach in that state championship game a year ago. It's been a good series.
He's put together a really impressive defense led by Toilolo.
And just really a defensive culture. It's just been awesome here. Sweetwine looking for, oh, he's picked off. And Sweetwine intercepted, gives it right back. He better go defend this, and they got him down just past midfield. So you give one away, and then you give it right back. Mason Wood, and that's the first interception of the season for this Corner Canyon defense.
Well, this is huge because you got Sweetwine, and he's looking. He sees the two receivers at the goal line, does not see the linebacker right there in front. Mason Wood, right place, right time. Does a good job hanging on to the ball here.
Well, the only thing slowing down the Skyridge offense are their own mistakes. Down in scoring territory, no less.
Yeah, 2 times now they're in scoring territory inside the 10 and turned the ball over. These are the kinds of games where you might be able to get away with that against some of the other teams that you had earlier in the season.
You're right.
But certainly in a game against Corner Canyon, you cannot afford to do it.
Yeah, now your defense got to step up. There's only about 2 minutes left in the half, and you are potentially going up 21-14, and instead you got to play defense and see if you can keep Corner Canyon out of the end zone. And they are a very explosive offense, as we all know. 2nd down. Kasuga. And that pass incomplete. 3rd down. University of Utah, get an education as inspiring as the mountains around us at the University of Utah. I saw Kyle Whittingham here earlier.
Yeah,
I think he came in on a helicopter.
He took.
No, he did.
He took off. Well, the helicopter just left, and he went with it.
He must be hitting a lot of games. Oh, 1st down coming.
Yeah, that's the second time they've been able to get Skyridge to jump.
You may have talked about it already, but Kasuga has been very good protecting the football this year.
Dead ball, encroachment. Number 97 on the defense. 5-yard penalty will be 1st down.
Until tonight, he'd only thrown 1 interception on the year.
Yeah, he's still got 17 touchdowns and just 2 interceptions.
So a 1st down for Kasuga, setting up the screen. That ball is caught by Brady, and Brady all the way down inside the University of Utah red zone, and the Chargers are in business.
Well, that was beautifully set up. You know, a lot of that has to do with the offensive line. They've got to be able to sell it, and they sold it perfectly. Because if you don't sell it properly, then guys read it too quick, and they start to drop off. Defenders drop off. This time they were all sold on the rush, and they thought they were going to get to Kasuga.
1st and goal, and again, 1st and goal at the 10, although a flag just came in. This is the 4th time we've had 1st and goal at the 10.
Well, that time Toilolo coming off the edge was there in a hurry.
Holding. Number 71 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat 1st down.
Kelly Woodbray, the referee here. He's got a good crew. Joseph Kearns, Corbin Carlson, Brent Winch, Nathaniel Glazier. And, by the way, an old ref friend of ours, Jared Youngman, as we take a look at the hold.
Yeah, you can see he's got his,
right there.
He's got his arm wrapped around Toilolo, and Toilolo still gets in there.
Jared sent me a text last night and said, hey, I think I just heard Frank say something nice about the refs.
Fake news.
I said, Frank's softening up.
What can I say? I'm getting older.
Kasuga, he's looking end zone, you can tell. Now he's going to scramble. Still look, he's going to take off. And great pursuit, but he gets out of it. He gets out of it. No, Bird couldn't wrap him up. So they get back to the original. They were down at the 10 line of scrimmage.
This is one of those, you know, you take what they give you. They come with a 3-man rush, and everybody's covered downfield. So there's really no place to go. Kasuga capable of running. And so he just tucks that thing and does a nice job getting away from one tackle to pick up the first down. Or excuse me.
No, second and goal now from the 11. Kasuga is going to take off again, and Kasuga finds the end zone. Corner retakes the lead.
That's a design QB draw for Kasuga right there, and he played it perfectly.
I had a great conversation with Coach Carey before the game. I say, how's Kasuga coming with this designed run? Because all of his quarterbacks run it. It's part of their offense. Kasuga has not really run it effectively to this point. He said he continues to get better. He said, you know what? The guy that gives him the hardest time is Luke Staley. He's always giving him a hard time, telling him how to run. Yeah. And he says, this is an easy run. I said, well, that's easy for a Doak Walker Award winner to make that statement.
I'd listen to that guy. When Luke Staley talks about run game,
people listen.
That's right.
Oh, what a game. 21-14. Boy, you blink in this game, and mistakes can get you. Coming up at halftime, Sugar House Furniture Halftime Report. We'll get an update from our 2 new studios. You will meet tonight's American First Credit Union Scholar Athlete. We'll have stats and highlights. And I don't think we can top last night's Frank Dolce show. Quentin Aaron of Stage and Screen. The blind side. And I loved your Superman pose at the end of that interview.
That was fantastic.
Did you see that?
That was beautiful.
We need to find a way to cut that into a promo.
Oh, we've got the video. We'll do it.
How about Quentin? 6'5", 320 pounds, and a 9th grader with a size 17 shoe. Hey, Green Bay Packers, I need a cleat.
No problem.
That's amazing. What a
and
great
then we had a play come right at you guys.
And he said,
I got
you. He said, I got you. I got your blind side. I never felt more safe.
Yeah. Well, I think the players that were headed his way were like, yep, I'm going to turn left here.
They diverted quickly.
Yep. That little delay here on the kickoff because they didn't have a football.
Yeah, that's a key element to a kickoff.
You might need it.
Yeah. There's 44 seconds left. We'll see what they choose to do right after the Victor's Tires touchback.
I think this is true, Dave. You'll have to check it. Two turnovers by Skyridge. Is that correct? 2 turnovers by Skyridge.
Yeah.
And 14 points off those turnovers by Corner Canyon.
That is correct.
Okay, 1 turnover by Corner Canyon.
That's correct.
And no points for Skyridge.
Because after that good-looking interception, they weren't able to convert. But you are correct. So 14 of the 21 on the board.
Well, cut that right there and turn that into a promo. Frank was correct.
Mark it.
That is correct.
Sweetwine downfield into traffic, another interception. Oh my goodness. And Sweetwine, 2 rough decisions, and now they have handed Corner Canyon the football in great field position.
How about the sophomore Diesel Dart? A little ball hawk out there.
You know, Sweetwine may have just been trying to do a little too much right there. He knew he put his team in a tough situation on the previous series, and he wanted to come back and make a big play. Threw into double coverage.
It wasn't that long ago we were talking about how Corner Canyon didn't have an interception yet this season.
Right.
Now they've got 2.
Now they've gotten healthy.
So see, sometimes that works in reverse.
You reverse jinx them.
Yeah. Now it looks like there's a penalty that's going to take this way back.
Well, it's a spot of the foul.
Spot foul, yeah.
So still 30 seconds to go. Plenty of time with the ball at the 38-yard line, and Corner Canyon already leading 21-14. You were feeling pretty good about yourself if you're Skyridge just a couple minutes ago when it was a tie ball game and you had the ball down near the goal line. We had a game last night. It was 15-7 10 for most of the fourth quarter, and it got away in a matter of minutes.
It sure did. It was a good game, a big physical game at the line of scrimmage. Roy and Box Elder.
Kasuga's pass. Diesel dart. First down.
How about this? Diesel Dart is a sophomore, and he is starting both offense and defense, but getting a lot of time on offense. He's rotating in and out on offense.
So back-to-back receptions, one from Sweetwine and one from Kasuga. And outside again, another catch. Does he hold on? He does.
Yeah.
Quick timeout taken, so down to 10 seconds. So if you're Eric Carey, you throw one down to the end zone and see if you can get something.
10 seconds, you probably have time for 2 plays. A pass play that's got it. Does he have a timeout remaining?
Yes.
Yes, he does. So
he does have a couple of timeouts left.
You have time for 2 plays here. Now, they have to be pretty efficient with those plays. I mean, you could even run the ball here if you wanted to, if you get down quickly enough. But time for 2 plays here.
I think you throw one and try to get to the end zone, and then stop the clock on an incompletion.
Yeah.
You complete it, then take a timeout, bring your field goal unit on.
Yeah, if you don't get in. Yeah, I don't mind that. And you're in field goal range as it is. So taking a shot down near the end zone makes sense.
Yeah, the one thing you don't do, you don't take a sack, and you don't turn the ball over.
This has been a good series and very short-lived because Skyridge hasn't been around that long. Neither is Corner Canyon. Corner Canyon leads by 6-3 margin, but they split the last 2 state championship games.
Yeah, they haven't always been in the same division.
That's right. Second down. Kasuga. And Kasuga firing for the end zone high, so that leaves 4 seconds.
Probably got to, if you want, now they're going to kick it. Take your shot here. And so Lima, that's exactly what they did. Take a shot in the end zone. Ball's incomplete. Clock stops. Bring the field goal unit on.
Again, a 3-man rush. Everybody dropping back in coverage. Hard to find anybody open. Good job in the secondary for Skyridge.
I'll tell you what, Kasuga has a live arm.
Oh, he sure does. I mean, that touchdown pass he threw on the run. And the kick is up, and it is right down the middle. So 3 more points as we head to halftime. And Corner Canyon gets the Davis-Nelson field goal. That's his first field goal this season. He's hit all his point afters. So Frank's going to grab Eric Kerr, I believe, on the way out. But what an entertaining first half. Quite frankly, Lemma, Skyridge fortunately came away with just 3 points after that pick.
Yeah, indeed. Turnovers are one of those things that you just can't afford to do in big games like this. And so they were fortunate to just give up 3 points on that. But every turnover has turned into points. Every Skyridge turnover has turned into points for Corner Canyon.
Well, and coaches always preach that. What's the thing they always say? Well, we got to take care of the ball.
Yeah. Protect the investment.
Yeah. And we're not able to take care of the ball. Coming up at halftime, we're going to have the American First Credit Union Scholar Athlete. We'll have all our highlights from the first half, and there were a lot of them. And then, of course, a update from our 2 News studios. But before we head to the locker room, let's go down to Frank Dolce with Eric Kerr.
Yeah, we got him. Well, Coach, very interesting first half of play. I'm not sure you're too worried about your offense. You did give away the interception. Yeah. How concerned are you about slowing down this Skyridge offense that's been moving the ball up and down the field pretty well?
They've been moving the ball a lot. Honestly, we just got to tackle better, too. We're kind of flying upfield. We got to come to balance and do a better job with that stuff. But I like how stout we've been. Like up inside, they've just been bouncing and leaking yardage a little bit. We got to get better with that. And offensively, we got to just clean a few things up, too, just execution-wise. But I think we'll be all right.
All right, good luck in the second half, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Frank. Coach's Corner brought to you by Wendy's. $1 small frosty deal. Try our fan favorite smooth, thick, mouth-watering dessert for just $1. There's a great shot of the moon. Helaman Kasuga to Krishan Lee. It's 24-14 at the half. Halftime activities coming your way, including our American First Credit Union Scholar Athlete. Beautiful night for football. Stick around.
There is nothing like a Wendy's Frosty. It's cool. It's creamy. It's only $1 right now. Wait, what? The one and only Frosty is $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
The University of Utah is set against the Wasatch Mountains. We ski, ride, and climb those mountains. As one of the leading research universities in the nation, we are working to eradicate cancer, seeking solutions for climate change, helping people walk again, and transforming mental health care. Our mission is to create unsurpassed societal impact. Sound lofty? It comes with the territory.
You're even prettier than the day we met.
Thanks, babe.
Your Honour, I object to this entire line of questioning on the grounds that it is not only irrelevant, but it also seeks to prejudice the jury against my client by introducing speculative and unfounded...
By the power of Keltron, I cast Magic Missile!
You're the youest you in your home. So make it your home, your way with RC Willey.
Are you okay? You seem upset. Turns out you were right. Our car was breaking down and we did need a new one with a loan from America First Credit Union. Me saying there was no hurry and to wait was wrong. Hey, on the bright side, we got to meet Huey.
Get your money working with our low-rate auto loans. Now, with no payments for 90 days.
There is nothing like a Wendy's Frosty. It's cool. It's creamy. It's only $1 right now. Wait, what? The one and only Frosty is $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
This is a 2 News halftime update.
We will get you back to the game in just a moment. First, though, let's get you caught up in some of the day's headlines. A military court in the Congo is sentencing 37 people to death. That includes 2 young men from Utah. Tyler Thompson and Marcel Malonga, both 21 years old, flew to the Congo from Utah for what their family believed was a vacation. Now they have been found guilty of taking part in an attempted coup. Tyler's mother says her son was wrongfully detained, had no knowledge of this attempted coup. We're told the defendants can appeal their sentence, which is death. Former President Donald Trump will be here in Utah tomorrow for a fundraiser. The Republican nominee for president expected to arrive sometime late tomorrow afternoon. The event expected to be held near the airport. Tickets for the fundraiser range from $1,000 to $500,000. Donors aim to collect more than $5 million from this visit. Well, right now we're talking weather, and it certainly feels like fall today. Meteorologist Sean Kelly here with that first alert and football forecast.
Oh, absolutely. It was a beautiful start to the morning, nice and cold and crisp. Nice start to some fall-like weather here. We had temperatures into the 70s for highs today. Look at this. There's nothing going on out there. We had no clouds, no rain. You can see it is quiet across all of the state and across the Intermountain West. Here's our next storm system that will be moving into the area as we get into early next week. That will be bringing us our next chance for rain and even some colder temperatures heading our way. But we've got a beautiful weekend ahead. Plenty of sunshine as we head into Saturday. Sunday morning, we may see a few spot showers down in the St. George area, Cedar City. And then as we get into Sunday evening, there could be a few isolated mountain showers. It's about a 20% chance of rain on Sunday. No need to cancel your outdoor plans. Just make sure you are weather aware. We can maybe see a few of these showers rolling in across the valley floors. We'll watch out for that. But the better chance for rain will be arriving as we get into Monday evening. That's as that system kind of slides and inches a little bit closer to our area, especially as we get into Tuesday. So overnight, we've got cold temperatures moving in, so you'll need the jacket into tomorrow morning especially. We've got 50s and 40s here for lows, some 30s up towards the mountains, including out in Heber. But look at this. It's a sunny delight tomorrow. It's absolutely wonderful weather here. 80s for highs. Perfect kickoff to the weekend. 76 in Park City, 84 in Delta, 84 for a high in Richfield. And your game day forecast for tomorrow as well. I mean, looking fantastic. Middle 70s to near 80 degrees. You'll see temperatures there heading home. You'll be into the upper 70s. St. George, we're looking at temperatures here Going from the 90s, we'll see a few spot showers and thunderstorms on Sunday. Heading into next week, some cooler temperatures and unsettled conditions as well. And then along the Wasatch Front, we go from the 80s down to the upper 60s by Tuesday.
You know you can trust Victor's tires. When it's time for new brakes, trust Victor's. Does your vehicle need new shocks or struts? Come to Victor's for service you can trust. And of course, Victor's can help you finance your repairs. Victor's Tires, the place you can trust.
The challenges of college are easier to overcome when you're embraced by community. Surrounded by beauty. Inspired by quality. And empowered by opportunity. It's all here at Weber State. Find your brilliance.
If you like it hot, then you're ready for the Volkswagen Savvy Summer Sales Event at Big Old Strong Volkswagen. New Atlas with 0.9% financing for 60 months. Or a $3,500 customer bonus. New Tiguan 1.9% for 60 months. Or a $2,500 customer bonus. Plus you get a lifetime warranty, no charge. At Strong Volkswagen. StrongVW.com.
Your favorite comic and pop culture convention is bringing celebrities from all of your favorite fandoms to your backyard. September 26th through the 28th, this is your chance to get a photo opportunity or autograph from your favorite TV and movie actors. Check out the cosplay, free panels, comic artists, authors, vendors, and more. Plus, children 10 and younger are free with an adult ticket. Use promo code UTAH for a limited time discount.
Mike seems to be having more fun with his money.
Really? Because you've got your book, and I'm roasting hot dogs and marshmallows. Yeah, they're probably having more fun.
Get your money working with a low-rate RV or power sports loan now at America First.
You know you can trust Victor's tires. Trust Victor's for all your service and repairs. And of course, that includes flat repairs. From oil changes to alignments, repairs, and tune-ups, Victor's has you covered. Victor's Tires, the place you can trust.
This is the Sugar House Furniture Halftime Report.
Welcome back. Halftime here at Skyridge. What a game between Skyridge and Corner Canyon. Corner Canyon up 24-14 at half, but this is our favorite feature of the entire football game. This is the America First Credit Union Scholar Athlete, and we have a winner here tonight, Lily Withers. Let me tell you something. She's into lacrosse, a little cross country, track and field. U17 national team. She's only one of 2 varsity captains. How about this? She did a 19-day humanitarian trip to Malawi. I don't even know where that is on a map. She's into community service, and she's a leader here at her high school. And yeah, I think the first question I have for you tonight is, tell me about that humanitarian trip. That sounds unbelievable.
It was truly one of the best things I've ever been to. Like, I was able to, it's an African continent, so we were able
Thank you.
Yeah, we were able to build a school and just interact with the locals, and it just totally just transformed who I am.
Absolutely. Well, a trip like that will do that to you, so congratulations. Now you're into track and field, cross country, lacrosse. Do you have a favorite? Do you hope to play something after high school?
I would say lacrosse for sure. It's what has had the most lasting effect, and I'm hoping, if possible, I can play in college.
Awesome. Well, we sure hope so, too. What's your favorite part about being a student athlete here at Skyridge?
I just love like the flexibility and the community they have within the teams, and just the school spirit.
Absolutely. Well, a lot of spirit here tonight, and they're going to need some more school spirit to make a big comeback here in the second half. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Well, Dave, you did it again. I mean, I don't know if you could find a better representative for what America First Credit Union means in the community than Lily.
Yeah, Lily represents every attribute that we look for in this Scholar Athlete program. She's a beast on the field, but she's a sweetheart in life. She's got a big heart. She brings people in. She finds those who need friends. I love her service. I love what she's about. And she's not only got a good, strong acumen and resume on the field, off the field in the classroom. She's a 4.0 student, and she's going places. So, yeah, Lily, it's an honor for America First to honor you as our Scholar Athlete of the Week. So way to go.
Well, I forgot to mention 4 years a member of the National Honor Society as well. So she gets it done in the classroom. Hey, we're here at halftime. It's a great game. Corner Canyon, Skyridge. We'll be right back. America First Credit Union.
You know you can trust Victor's tires. Trust Victor's to keep your vehicle running smoothly. At Victor's, we'll change your oil, balance your tires, and make sure your front end is aligned. For all your vehicle needs, think Victor's. Victor's Tires, the place you can trust.
Conference is world class, making everybody say, get ready for game day. Come on down, let's get real loud. Make some noise, all you girls and boys. Scream it out right now, get ready for game day. Cause your conference came to play. So turn it up, set it off.
We have guys on a football team that would not necessarily be hanging out if they weren't on the football team together. And that's a cool thing.
What can you get starting under $10 at Cafe Rio? Well, for starters, add some. A little. Oh yeah, you'll need some. And don't forget the perfect Cafe Rio bowls starting under $10. That sounds good.
Your favorite comic and pop culture convention is bringing celebrities from all of your favorite fandoms to your backyard. September 26th through the 28th, this is your chance to get a photo opportunity or autograph from your favorite TV and movie actors. Check out the cosplay, free panels, comic artists, authors, vendors, and more. Plus, children 10 and younger are free with an adult ticket. Use promo code UTAH for a limited time discount.
You know you can trust Victor's tires. Trust Victor's to get your car ready for spring and summer road trips. Trust Victor's for those special wheels you've been looking for. And there's no credit check needed at Victor's. Victor's Tires, the place you can trust.
Halftime, Corner Canyon at Skyridge, and right now, Corner Canyon is leading the Chargers on top 24-14. Taking a look at our first half highlights brought to you by America First Credit Union, where members come first. Check out AmericaFirst.com or visit a branch to see how you can reach your financial goals faster. Big defensive play, a little fumble after a great drive by Skyridge to get things started, but they drop the ball on the ground and it turns into a touchdown going the other way. Kasuga to lead for the score. Here goes Selu. Selu's had a great first half. He gets a touchdown, all tied at 7 apiece. Wide open down the middle. Sweet one finds Sorensen. He won't get to the end zone, but Selu will. Selu on a little carry up the middle. Good blocking up front, and he scores. A big interception right here. One-handed grab. Kavion Edwards goes up, high points that ball, brings it down, but then that would turn into an interception going the other way. The sophomore Diesel Dart with a nice return. A penalty would take it back beyond midfield. But before the end of the half, Kasuga with another touchdown, this time running that quarterback draw that's a part of that Coach Care offense. And they are up by 10 after adding a field goal. 24-14 is your score at the break. If you take a look at the stats, they're fairly even across the board. 3 for 4 third down conversions for the Chargers, 5 for 6 for the Falcons. But you take a look at the turnovers, that is probably the key statistic in this first half of play. Teams are leaving the locker room, getting ready for the second half. Stick around, third quarter action coming up. Friday Night Rivals brought to you by America First Credit Union, where members come first.
This halftime report was brought to you by Sugar House Furniture. When you're the oldest personal injury firm in Utah, you get to know a few faces.
our team at Robert J. DeBry has the experience needed to get you the compensation you deserve. Not sure you have a case? Dial the number with all the 8s.
A little to the left, please. Thank you. A little more.
Oh, I'm okay. Get your money working. And for a limited time, get 0% interest for 6 months when you open a new Visa credit card at America First.
Schedule a free pre-measure today. RC Willie.
What can you get starting under 10 bucks at Cafe Rio? Well, for starters, add some. A little. Oh yeah, you'll need some. And don't forget the perfect Cafe Rio bowls starting under $10. That sounds good.
You know you can trust Victor's tires. Trust Victor's to keep your vehicle running smoothly. At Victor's, we'll change your oil, balance your tires, and make sure your front end is aligned. For all your vehicle needs, think Victor's. Victor's Tires, the place you can trust.
Your favorite comic and pop culture convention is bringing celebrities from all of your favorite fandoms to your backyard. September 26th through the 28th, this is your chance to get a photo opportunity or autograph from your favorite TV and movie actors. Check out the cosplay, free panels, comic artists, authors, vendors, and more. Plus, children 10 and younger are free with an adult ticket. Use promo code UTAH for a limited time discount.
It's a busy morning in your house, but for you, it's just another day. You're the one who makes it all happen. But one day, everything changed. Our team at Robert J. DeBry has the experience to get you the compensation you deserve. Not sure you have a case? Dial the number with all the 8s.
Corner Canyon up 10 at the half. A lot of fans hanging out up there on the berm. And it's time now for High School Game Day, brought to you by the University of Utah. Get an education as inspiring as the mountains around us. What a great game. And rough end of that first half, guys. And now Corner Canyon's going to get the football back to start the second half. Our kickoff brought to you by Utah State University, the state's #1 student experience on campus. So, wow. Now it's going to be incumbent on this defense to see what they can do. I just got the delivery. Dave Nellis dropped off some strawberry. He says he's all out. He doesn't have enough for you guys.
That's funny because he already delivered it to us.
We got ours first.
Dave.
Yeah, and he let us pick the flavors.
Yeah, I got lemon tonight.
You got the leftovers.
There's the numbers for Kasugas. You take a look at the players to watch, brought to you by Robert J. DeBry and Associates. Kreishan Lee, who just returned that kickoff. He's got a couple of TDs. And Kai Meza with a reception and 9 yards.
All right, well, here we go. Let's see what Kasuga can do from this little hit after he handed off. But right back where they left off, just churning the yards. And Mason Brady gets the carry there. He's been rotating Mason with Jackson Caruth.
Nice job up front that time. Good blocking for Caruth. Tafa, Williams, Filipao, Finau, and Chandler, the 5 men in the trenches.
That is a Fan X first down after the 12-yard pickup. Keep it on the ground. Another maybe 2 yards. They're going to spot this one.
That time Oser was right on top of it. 6'3", 205. The senior defensive tackle. Toilolo looks like he's holding his arm a little bit. Might have got a little bit of a stinger.
Second down. Again, Brady off that right side gets a couple more. So a 3rd and 5 as Eric Kerr chooses to go a little run heavy in the beginning of this drive.
Now he is committed to the run game. These first few downs here. Maybe just trying to loosen up that Skyridge defense.
Could be. 3rd and 5.
Well, you think about Skyridge has been coming with a 3-man rush, dropping everybody in coverage, try to get them to suck up there to the line of scrimmage, maybe a little play action now to help get something open in the secondary.
Kasuga's got it. His pass low and outside. 4th down. And what do you do all the way back here? You're at the 31-yard line.
Davion Edwards that time. Great inside defense. Just nowhere to go. Mesa was the target.
First punt of the game. And Davis Nelson. Unless, of course, it's fake. Back to kick. He will kick it. Ooh, they almost got there. And it'll be fielded short just near the 40-yard line. And he's dangerous. Davion Edwards. There's a flag down. He's all the way up to 35, but this may be coming back.
Holding on the return team. I got a good view of it as he was coming around the edge.
Toilolo?
Toilolo was the returner.
No, it was...
Or sorry, I'm sorry. Tavion Edwards is the returner. So
Toilolo was pleading his case to the coaches.
After the kick, holding number 4 on the return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Will be first down.
Toilolo is clean.
So let's see if we can see it here. Toilolo was one of the first men down. He right there. We don't get. I don't think we see the hold on that angle.
That's okay. I saw it. I saw it for you.
Would you be a good witness in court, do you think?
I would be what they call a star witness.
Well, your wife is a lawyer, so maybe I should ask her.
No, don't ask her.
I understand.
There's players to watch, bro. Watched by Robert J. DeBry, the offense, which just sputtered on first down. But those Keneal Sweetwine, 9 of 12, 148 yards, 1 touchdown. But glaring are those 2 interceptions.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And Selu with a great first half, 92 total yards.
I would point out that he was doing fantastic until you mentioned he was 6 for 6.
Yep.
Oh, that's how it's going to be.
I might mention that to coach.
So I threw those interceptions. Got it. 2nd down, 10. About that little run by Selu. Good pickup of 4. That's what you really want on first down.
The Skyridge run game has been super effective tonight.
Well, you got such a huge offensive line, especially on that right side with Afalava and Benjamin.
Both over 320.
Both over 6'5".
Yeah. Justin Hems sends in the final play. Some fireworks going off in the distance. And some fireworks here as well. And here we go on the ground again. Selu hops ahead. He was met 2 yards shy. I wonder if this was literally designed to get enough yards to go for it on 4th down.
Like I mentioned earlier in this broadcast, that has become more and more a strategy, is that 3rd down, and that's why 3rd down conversions are going to start at some point to lose their importance, because it's 4 down territory more and more.
Well, they're 1 for 1 on 4th down. They converted 1 earlier. So Selu in the backfield next to Keneal Sweetwine. And Selu's got it, and he's got the FanX first down.
That's great extra effort. First, 2nd, 3rd effort. Little can't stop, won't stop, on and on to the break of dawn for Selu.
It's my favorite thing that Olema says. He describes the running back.
It's a perfect description.
It is.
Skyridge on the move, first down. And Quick pass to the outside. That's caught. Oh, did he drop that?
It was dropped. It was dropped.
He dropped it. Had it for a moment. 2nd and 10 coming.
Good coverage that time in the secondary.
Do you guys hear all of the cheers that the opposing student sections do toward each other?
Oh, you mean back and forth?
Yeah. Back and forth, and then everything that happens on the field, they have a cheer for it.
That's good leadership.
Hey, everyone has a job to do. 2nd down. Trying to set up the screen and got there, but just nowhere to go. So prior to that pass, and this is not since he went 6 for 6, but since he started 9 of 10. Okay, so that's well after I mentioned the 6 for 6. You look at this one. Since he was 9 of 10, Sweetwine has gone 0 for 4 with 2 picks.
Okay, let's see if the reverse
until that last
that one now. Okay, there you go.
That was
you
great
said
pursuit.
That earlier.
Otuafi was able to read the screen and start to trail, and great support from the secondary.
Third and 12. Sweetwine. Protection breaks down. He busts out of it, but runs out of room. Big sack for this Corner Canyon defense.
That was huge. Corner Canyon able to get home with 4. Kozlowski, one of the defenders that break that pocket down. See 4-man rush, and Kozlowski able to come in and make sure that Sweetwine didn't have a little alley right there.
So now trading punts here in the 3rd quarter. As this one rolled down inside the 20, the 50, almost to the 10-yard line. Good kick. Blake Hester unloading on that. All right, no score here in the 2nd half. On America First Credit Union's Friday Night Rivals as Corner Canyon maintains their halftime lead of 24-14.
Welcome to Sugar House Furniture, where we've been selling solid wood furniture at affordable prices for over 30 years. Whether you need a single piece or an entire room, find what you're looking for at Sugar House Furniture, your Mission Furniture specialist.
If you like it hot, then you're ready for the Volkswagen Savvy Summer Sales Event at Big Old Strong. Strong Volkswagen. New Atlas with 0.9% financing for 60 months. Or a $3,500 customer bonus. New Tiguan 1.9% for 60 months. Or a $2,500 customer bonus. Plus you get a lifetime warranty, no charge. At Strong Volkswagen. StrongVW.com.
Welcome to Sugar House Furniture, where we've been selling solid wood furniture at affordable prices for over 30 years. Whether you need a single piece or an entire room, find what you're looking for at Sugar House Furniture, your Mission Furniture specialist.
America First Credit Union's Friday Night Rivals is brought to you by Victor's Tires, Robert J. DeBry, Wendy's, and Weber State University. Hey, bring your high school football family to FanX Salt Lake, September 26th, 28th. An unforgettable weekend filled with celebrity guests, exciting panels, unique fan experiences. Don't forget, kids 10 and under are free at FanX, September 6th, 26th, 28th. Frank got to interview Quentin Aaron yesterday, who oddly enough promoting FanX but won't be there.
I know, that's too bad.
He's got another project. He's got
another project. I had to stand on a step stool to interview him.
He's a big man.
He's a big dude.
He is not a small man.
What a nice guy.
And
he is
now a resident
giant.
of the state of Utah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That's right. I love the story he told you. He and his wife came here, and his wife said, I want to live here. Tackle off that left side. Pickup of a couple.
And he's lived everywhere. Almost all the southern, he says he's lived in all the southern states except for Texas. He's been all over the West Coast and New England.
This one.
Yeah, and he loves it here.
Okay.
That time Malufao able to get through the middle. So short gain on first down for Corner Canyon.
Jackson Caruth now in the backfield next to Kasuga. Here goes Kasuga to the air. Fiery downfield. What a great pass to Lee. Rashawn Lee. And Lee sprints to the end zone. 87 yards.
Frank, this is the risk you take when you bring pressure. That time they bring linebackers, and now you put your corners on an island.
Yeah, tell me about it. That's exactly what happened. And Kasuga, the veteran, steps up into the pocket, and he could not have delivered a better pass. We've seen him off a little bit tonight, but he's thrown a couple balls that have been spectacular.
In fact, two of them to Bryshawn Lee in stride, one in the first quarter for a touchdown and one here in the third quarter for a touchdown.
We're gonna have a battle for MVP because we got two great candidates from Corner Canyon. One of them is the quarterback, Kasuga, 232 yards, 3 touchdowns, and Lee, 160 yards on 5 receptions, 3 touchdowns. There he goes. Good.
Your whole life, you woke up before the sun and worked hard till one night when you were hit by a drunk driver. Now you're out of work, you're worried about your family. Our team at Robert J. DeBry will get you the settlement you deserve. Not sure you have a case? Dial the number with all the 8s.
Mike seems to be having more fun with his money.
Really? Because you've got your book, and I'm roasting hot dogs and marshmallows. Yeah, they're probably having more fun.
Get your money working with a low-rate RV or power sports loan now at America First.
When you're the oldest personal injury firm in Utah, you get to know a few faces. Our team at Robert J. DeBry has the experience needed to get you the compensation you deserve. Not sure you have a case? Dial the number with all the 8s.
This memorable moment is brought to you by Young Automotive. In 2018, Skyridge battled Lone Peak for an early season showdown. Dylan Samuels with the touchdown catch from Jaden Clemens gave Skyridge an early 14-0 lead. Lone Peak would rally, and Mason Wake went on a tear to put the Knights ahead 21-17. But in the fourth quarter, a great drive from the Falcons ended on a controversial Ma'a Natoa touchdown run, and the defense sealed the deal for the 24-21 win. This memorable moment is brought to you by Young Automotive.
Thank you, Tony Parks. Take a look at our eye in the sky. That's actually the shot from our eye in the sky.
Oh, that's the A-game.
Yeah, what is that?
A-game 5250 _ ##, *57.
That's Forrest up there. Can you see Forrest through the trees? There he is.
Forrest doesn't have to go with the full extension on the scissor lift tonight.
Yeah,
Last night, that thing was way up in there.
Well, he doesn't want to block the view of the fans behind him there. Another Victor's Tires touchback. We got a bunch of fans in both end zones.
I'll tell you, it's like you could charge admission for the kids to just come. Forget the state fair.
Oh, yeah, that about over.
Just slide down the S.
Cafe Rio's scoring summary, just 2 plays, 89 yards, 87-yard to Krishan Lee. And how about you guys, you love math. So he has 5 receptions for 160 yards. You know what that is, yards per catch?
Many.
A lot.
Over 30. 32. 32 yards per catch.
Wow.
That's impressive.
That smells like MVP. Take a whiff. First down. And Skyridge is going to stick with what they've been doing.
A critical drive here.
Absolutely.
For Skyridge. You can't let this thing get away from you.
The run game has been the most effective weapon, I think, for Skyridge. The most consistent, effective weapon. And I think you're down a little bit. There's still a lot of time to play. You have to stick with your bread and butter, and that's the run game.
And there they go again. Nice little hole there. Well, they had 137 yards rushing total coming into that. You showed the halftime highlights way ahead of Corner Canyon on the rushing yards. But you know what Corner Canyon does? They throw the ball a lot.
They do. But the turnovers.
That's
really
what's killed them. You're right, Frank.
Skyridge.
Honestly, you start talking numbers, the yardage overall is fairly equal. But those turnovers just glaring.
Dart. I'm sorry. diesel dart coming up and making a stop from his safety position.
17 points, in fact, off turnovers, and there was almost another one. Oh boy.
Uh-oh. Little
pushing and shoving after Boston Sorensen.
The dance isn't until after the football game, boys.
That's right. Take a look.
Yeah. Nice job just getting up and even off balance to get a hand up and deflect that thing.
So second down 10. Quarterback draw. Sweet wine, nothing doing.
Yeah, Nagel was there.
Yeah.
Quickly read it. Great job.
So that brings up another long third and 9. Now on the game, they're 5 of 8 on third down conversions. They need a big one here. Got to get to the 43-yard line. Sweetwater try to get it outside. Siwa's got a lot of work to do, though. So you're going to be looking at a 4th and 4. Do you dare keep the offense out there?
No, it's too early. I think it's still too early to keep your offense on the field.
They'll bring the punt team out now. They held on to it for a minute.
Yeah, well, the defense isn't going to love this. They just gave up a 2-play, 80-plus yard drive.
Right. They haven't had much rest on the sideline.
They got to go right back out.
Yeah, you hope for a booming punt here to flip the field.
Well, the last punt, that worked pretty well. Remember, it got down all the way down near the 10. And Lee's going to let this one bounce. Depends on where, and it's rolling again. So they'll settle in at about the 24-yard line. Hey, shop the outlet inside RC Willey for clearance savings on closeouts, display models, and discontinued items at RC Willey.
So you're saying the outlet is inside?
It's inside RC Willey. So you go to RC Willey and you say, hey, where's the outlet? And they say, it's over there.
It's over inside.
It's right over there. See that bed over there that Alema's sleeping in? It's right next to that.
Try not to wake him up, but there's a lot of great stuff on sale over here.
So we call that a Lemus outlet corner.
We're selling the one he's sleeping on at a discount. Well read by that defense, or at least not so much the read, just the pursuit. They're going to lose a yard, so 2nd and 11 coming.
That early penetration messed up the timing in the backfield, and then it just gave time for everybody else to kind of...
There was a hold there, too.
Get in there and shut it down.
There might be less holdings this year because they're spending a lot of time looking for eye black and
wristbands and
hey, that towel, extra towel there.
They're distracted. Kasuga on the run. He's so dangerous, but he threw that one out of bounds. Lee he was bracketed.
Well, that's a couple of plays in a row where Malafau was able to get through.
He's relentless.
He is.
He is compact. I mean, he's like a bowling ball.
Yeah, listed at like 6'2", close to 300 pounds.
But boy, can he move.
He does. He's tough.
Here you see him coming through. This time with just a little bit off, and they can't pick him up. He's able to get Kasuga out of the pocket.
All right, 3rd and 10.
Communication here.
They're 3 of 5 on 3rd downs. Kasuga. And he's getting a little room on the outside. Downfield, he throws. Oh, that was so close to being picked off by Darian Diarte. But either way, it's 4th and long. They'll have to kick it away again.
Malafau again, Alema, with double coverage. They tried to team up on him, and he still disrupted the play.
Tried to team up on him, tried to grab his jersey, and he still almost got home.
We saw the next Malafau at halftime, didn't we, Alema?
That's a little mini Malafau who was out here playing at halftime. He was in the end zone playing with the pylons and knocking them over.
Alema said he's pretty cute now, but in about 10 years you're going to have to rip your head off.
Take your head off.
This is the 4th punt of the half after not having any punts in the first half.
Oh, and that is good field position for Skyridge.
Just shy of the 50. Utah State University, the state's #1 student experience on campus. Both Utah State and the University of Utah, sponsors here of our Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals, and they're facing off tomorrow up in Logan. It's kind of funny, Utah State's playing the same guessing game at quarterback that Utah is. In fact, their coach, Nate Dryan, had mentioned, you know, hey, it works both ways.
Well, I know who's starting for both.
Barnes.
I know who's starting for both teams. Yeah.
Sweetwine looking, wanted to go deep, but it was just, coverage was just too good down there. He leaps ahead to at least not lose yardage. So Frank, Isaac Wilson for Utah.
Yeah.
Bryson Barnes for Utah State.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. How fun is that? Bryson Barnes gets so many friends on that University of Utah team, and they all just loved him.
Well, the guy is all about making a play, grit. He brings a little something extra to that offense.
That'll be a fun game tomorrow. Quarterback draw. Sweetwine. Oh, he's got first down yardage and more. And a FanX first down for Keneal Sweetwine. Important drive coming here.
Yes, they needed that one.
Yeah, that almost looks like it's right out of the Coach Kerr Corner Canyon Jordan High School playbook, this design quarterback run, but very effective.
14 yards on the pickup.
That was a huge pickup on third down there.
Iacopo now into the backfield next to Sweetwine. The 6'4", 195-pound junior. Sweetwine, a little play fake. Going deep downfield, way underthrown. Oh, that was a great job, to be honest, by Davis Fyans to prevent what looked like another interception.
Yeah, it would have been Diesel Dart's second interception of the game. And this one just a little short, and that allowed Diesel Dart to be in good position. But as you mentioned, you know, really a nice job turning into a defender by Fyans, making sure that wasn't another pick.
So second down now. Sweetwine again. Just going to be shy of the first down, but delivered that on target. And third and about 3, maybe a long 2. Sidwell on that reception. They'll try to get it on the ground, and Iacopo has the first down. That's a FanX first down right there.
That was backside pursuit that time by Eli Painter, but just not in time. Iacopo able to pick up that first down. You see number 44 on the backside pursuit here. He'll get to Iacopo, but he already had so much forward momentum. He ends up picking up the first down.
Sweetwine trying to buy a little more time. That pass caught and out of bounds just inside the 20-yard line. So the University of Utah red zone, Adam Warren on the reception.
Man, the sound down here on the field, that was like a pitch and a catch, like the catcher's mitt. Boom.
Boom.
Strike.
Second and short. Sweetwine. And oh, that looked like it was going to be perfectly placed ball that could have ended up in the end zone.
You know what? I think that was a perfectly placed ball. It's a tough catch, though, because you got a defender really almost in your line of sight. But a nice throw here by Sweetwine.
Yeah, that was a great pass. Hunter Sheffield not able to hang on.
Yeah, it would have been a great catch.
So 1 for 4 on third downs in this quarter. And make that 2 for 5. Another FanX first down.
Well, Skyridge is utilizing Sweetwine as a running threat now on this series, Alima, and that has been super effective, keeping this Corner Canyon defense off balance.
Well, they bring Ben Howard from that left side of the line and have him pull off to the right side and do a little lead block for Sweetwine. Effective enough to get the first down.
Seilu back into the game, and he gets the carry and gets ahead inside the 10-yard line. I don't know if this would be considered jinxing, but can I mention it's been a pretty clean game. Penalty.
Oh, don't do that.
Oh, my God.
Did you really just do that?
I just saw an official reach for his flag before the play.
But Seilu again. Corner Canyon's only got 2 penalties, 25 yards.
Stop it.
Skyridge only has 4 for 35.
Wow. If we end up in the fourth quarter that's got
what's the point of keeping these stats if I can't share them with our viewers?
You can share them after the game.
Well, that brings us to the end of the third, so we're pretty clean through 3. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Fourth quarter's not up to me. All right, we still got a good one. Will Skyridge punch it in, tighten this thing up? American First Credit Union's Friday night rivals, Kasuga, and his Chargers with a big TD to lead.
It's a busy morning in your house, but for you, it's just another day. You're the one who makes it all happen. But one day, everything changed. Our team at Robert J. DeBry has the experience to get you the compensation you deserve. Not sure you have a case? Dial the number with all the 8s.
The Missionary Starter Package at Mr. Mac. It's everything a missionary needs at an unbeatable value. The package includes 1 slim or modern fit suit, 4 and collar stretch shirts, 3 Teflon treated washable ties, 1 mission belt, and a pair of Echo or Johnston & Murphy walking shoes. All for just $5.95. And fit is never a problem with free alterations for a lifetime. Ask for the Missionary Starter Package at all 9 Mr. Mac stores.
What can you get starting under $10 at Cafe Rio? Well, for starters, add some. A little. Oh yeah, you'll need some. And don't forget the perfect Cafe Rio bowls starting under $10. That sounds good.
Your favorite comic and pop culture convention is bringing celebrities from all of your favorite fandoms to your backyard. September 26th through the 28th, this is your chance to get a photo opportunity or autograph from your favorite TV and movie actors. Check out the cosplay, free panels, comic artists, authors, vendors, and more. Plus, children 10 and younger are free with an adult ticket. Use promo code UTAH for a limited time discount.
Your whole life, you woke up before the sun and worked hard till one night when you were hit by a truck driver. Now you're out of work and you're worried about your family. Our team at Robert J. DeBry will get you the settlement you deserve. Not sure you have a case? Dial the number with all the 8s.
American First Credit Union's Friday Night Rivals is brought to you by Cafe Rio, McGee's Trophies, U of U, Sunbelt Rentals, and RC Willie. Football's. We are back. We are back, and it is a 3rd and 2 for Skyridge in a drive they really need to finish off here. Ikopo has the ball, pushes ahead. He's got the first down and a couple more, so 1st and goal coming from the 4. Imagine if they had scored on each of their goal to goes tonight.
Oh, that's 2 that they missed on. Actually, make it 3 because 1 was an interception.
So 1st and goal. Ikopo still in there. Sweetwine keeps, and Sweetwine into the end zone.
Tell you, great move by Sweetwine, because he had outside pursuit. You got your outside backer in charge. You contain, watch him cut it upfield right here and able to get inside. Really nice job. Good read. Your instinct might be to try to continue to break it outside, but he did a great job of just getting into the end zone.
Point after. Blake Hester's kick is up and good. Good view there from our eye in the sky.
Speaking of Hester, is Devin Hester the greatest return man in the game of football?
Certainly make an argument for that. Former Chicago Bear.
I'm going to go with...
If Tony Parks were here, he'd be all over that.
I'm going with Weissegama.
As the greatest ever?
In the all-time history of the
return.
NFL. Okay.
What about Coach Prime?
Coach Prime was pretty doggone good.
Here's our scoring summary. 12 plays, 52 yards, and Sweetwine with the draw. The Cafe Rio scoring drive. The thing I loved about Prime is you always wondered, when's he going to start high-stepping?
Yeah.
Will he high-step, 20 yards to go, 10 yards to go, maybe 30?
I got to shout out my guy, DJ Honeycomb.
Oh, he's right in front of us. He loves it. Right in front of our
He was rocking the crowd, man. It's got everybody moving. I like his playlist.
Of all the stadiums and all the towns we've been to, this has by far been the best music selection throughout a football game. And keeping the crowd in it. Look at the student section loving it.
Well, in Alema's buddy, he literally built himself a little DJ booth right in front of the press box. Before he just kind of stood up in the corner. Here comes Corner Canyon on the return up to the 30-yard line. He's got a nice setup.
Maybe we should get that thing sponsored.
Hey,
There he is. My man, DJ Honeycomb in the house. Rocking the 1s and 2s.
Why don't you bring him out to do your golf tournament?
Yeah, my other buddy, Joe, he's the one that DJ'd my last. But I'll see if Honeycomb is available.
I saw him on my way in earlier tonight, and I said, "Hey, what are they grilling over there?" And he says, "Oh, Levin's gonna love it. It's chicken." He didn't even think about what I was asking.
It's called huli huli chicken, and huli huli means to turn over.
Oh,
so you turn it over.
Oh, and you did.
Oh my goodness!
And you did turn it over.
On a foul.
How did you do that, Alema? I don't know how you did that, Alema. Like, that timing was impeccable. You could not do that any better. It means turnover. Hey, look, it's a turnover.
Oh, my goodness.
A huge play from this Skyridge defense.
John Green marked that audio of Alema.
No kidding.
Malafau has been in the backfield all night long.
What a turn of events.
Oh, my goodness.
Now it's incumbent on Skyridge to turn that turnover into points, much the same way Corner Canyon has. And Sweetwine looking for a lane, gets to the outside, and good carry on first down. Pick up 7.
Well, they have really been relying on the quarterback run game in this half.
I think you got to be measured with your quarterback run and not expose him too much, but it has been an effective part of the run game.
They sure have.
That was so big because now the turnovers are almost even. You got 3 total turnovers for Skyridge, 2 for Corner Canyon. Selu. He springs ahead that's going to be really close. They're saying not a first down, but he didn't miss it by much.
Again, nice blocking up front. Luke Davies, Ben Howard on that left side. The center from Hupo.
3rd and inches. Selu again. And Selu gets to the edge and knocked out of bounds. It'll be 1st and goal.
I think Selu takes a shot here to the thigh, but he's able to keep the legs churning. Nice pickup.
Selu going to stay on the sideline.
1st and goal.
And Iacopo will come in. And now he gets a carry. Iacopo to the outside. Iacopo to the corner and into the end zone.
Again, great blocking. Very similar play, bouncing it outside. And he knows once he gets to the 5-yard line, he's going to be able to get the corner.
Oh, and he did a great job just reaching for that pylon. his legs were carrying him out of bounds. Man, what a turn of events here. And point after, that's up and just does sneak in. And as quickly as Corner Canyon scored at the end of the first half, Skyridge has come out and scored 2 quick ones here. We got a great game. 31-28 our score. Iacopo reaching for the pylon on America First Credit Union's Friday Night Rivals.
Schedule a free pre-measure today. RC Willie.
Are you okay? You seem upset. Turns out you were right. Our car was breaking down and we did need a new one with a loan from America First Credit Union. Me saying there was no hurry and to wait was wrong. Hey, on the bright side, we got to meet Huey.
Get your money working with our low-rate auto loans. Now, with no payments for 90 days.
You know you can trust Victor's tires. Trust Victor's to get your car ready for spring and summer road trips. Trust Victor's for those special wheels you've been looking for. And there's no credit check needed at Victor's. Victor's Tires, the place you can trust.
Hey, football begins with Ute Conference. Here's some highlights last week. Bingham taking on Highland. Watch the Miners quarterback Connor Marchant. Oh, it gets the
lefty
touchdown to Jack Graham. But in a shootout, the Rams won at 27-20. And then in the Mighty Mites, Skyline taking on Highland. Eagles quarterback Kingston Criddle. He comes up with the TV. It's coming right at you. Touchdown, gets the corner. But Highland's suffocating defense leads to a 7-6 win. Ute Conference football season, they're approaching the reset. It's a dynamic system, kind of inspired by European soccer. You know, they match teams with similar talent level. They'll do that reset. Football starts with Ute Conference, Utah's football conference.
Yeah, and you know, in divisions, so Mighty Mites will have like 3 champions because they're going to break it off.
Corner Canyon 17 points off turnovers. Skyridge now 7 off turnovers. We get a Victor's Tires touchback. We've seen why, if you're a little interested why there's a number 2 on defense, that's McKay Wells, their defensive back for Corner Canyon. Same number as Helaman Kasuga, who wears number 2 on offense. You get a lot of double numbers in the high school game as we look at our Cafe Rio scoring drive. At Cafe Rio, dig deep into flavor without digging deep into your pockets. What a score. 4 plays, 24 yards. The important thing there is the turnover that led to it.
Turnovers have been quite a storyline in this football game.
First down pressure, look, and Kasuga has to get rid of that because of the...
Well, there was pressure. It was a design screen, but Malafau read it perfectly, and he was right there to defend.
Malafau has kind of taken over the second half, defensive pressure. Just harassing the offensive backfield of Corner Canyon.
He has been disruptive.
Second down 10. Kasuga again. Sets up, fires down. A receiver fell down. I don't think there's going to be any call there. Just
there's no
couple
flag.
legs twisted up.
Everybody on the Corner Canyon side is asking why there's no flag on the play. Oh, big third down right here. Momentum squarely on the side of Skyridge at the moment.
Boy, indeed. What do they have in store on 3rd and 10? Line to gain the 30-yard line. Kasuga. Oh, he's going to take off. He's got a lot of room, and Kasuga's got the FanX first down.
Wow.
What a gutsy run.
That was.
Yeah, huge play. And once again, making the right decision, looking at the pass rush, and then looking downfield. Good coverage in the secondary. He said, I'm just going to take off, and I'm going to go get the first down on my own.
Well, let's see if that sparks this Corner Canyon offense that has been so productive tonight. Not as much so in the second half.
Well, that second half, other than that 87-yard play for the touchdown as the flags come flying in, Frank, they've only had 27 total yards of offense, other than that one deep ball.
Yeah.
So it's been lean.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 73 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
First and 15. Kasuga again flush. Got to watch out when he takes off, and he's going to slide. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
Smart play right there by Kasuga. Got the yardage. Didn't have to take a hit.
Now, once again, you take a look at the rush, and Malafau is coming. You got 4 guys in that rush package. And good coverage in the secondary once again.
Approaching 9 minutes to play, and Skyridge did a nice job of not letting this game get away. It looked like it might. And a second down for Kasuga. And again, just everyone just covered. You had Diesel Dart 20 yards downfield, and he had 3 guys around him.
Yeah.
Well, once again, just good coverage in the secondary.
There's nobody in the intermediate on that passing route for Corner Canyon over the middle of the field. Only a couple of options, and when you get pressure on the quarterback and you can cover up a guy like Dart with 2 or 3 guys downfield, it's going to make it very difficult on your quarterback.
It's really a 3-man rush. Skyridge got a 3-man rush with a spy.
Yeah.
So 3 men trying to get pressure. 1 guy has got the assignment of Kasuga.
Fans come to life. 1 for 3 on 3rd downs in the second half, but Kasuga's pass is tipped away. Darian Diarte, he had that one earlier. The interception, I believe. Did he have the interception? He had he defended the play.
Yeah, Davion Edwards had the interception.
That's right.
Well,
so the defense steps up huge again.
They did. They very close. Watch it off the fingertips of Kreishon Lee right here.
Oh, it was right there. Kasuga now, guys, in this game, 11 of 29. 232 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception, but 11 and 29. Not a customary.
No
that
bueno.
game was almost blocked. Not a customary average for Kasuga, who's a 71% completion guy.
Do the math for me. What is that?
Well, it's about a 30%, a little over that, about 35% tonight. So just, and again, you got to credit this defense.
Yeah.
You know, now he did remember early in the game he was just missing. You guys were talking about how he just seemed like it was just a little bit, maybe the nerves or whatever.
Now it just. I think that they found a package on defense that's been effective, which is that 3-man rush with 1 man, and usually it's one of the linebackers. It's Coons that is assigned to Kasuga to not let him get too much on a run.
Sweetwine keeps. He's got some room. Sweetwine gets to the second level. Oh, and he trips.
Oh, the turf monster. The turf monster got him. He was on his way.
He sure was.
Great design here.
Look at this.
Wide
Look at that.
open for him to turn it upfield.
And then,
I'll tell you, you haven't really lived until you've had the turf monster ruin a big play for you.
39 yards anyway on the pickup. But yeah, that was 6 if he'd kept his feet. Salu's got the ball, and he's dropped for a loss. It's one of those things, I mean, I've experienced it, in flag football. Not quite at your level.
You mean a
but
turkey bowl?
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. You're just like,
I remember Turkey Bowl.
You played in some of those with me. Yeah.
1998 Turkey Bowl. Oh, it was a cold day.
It was a
And
cold
I thought
day.
the Fox was going to score on a big run, and the turf monster.
He broke around the right side for a 1.5-yard gain before the turf monster got him.
It was actually a natural grass monster covered in snow.
And he pulled his hamstring, don't worry.
Oh, I'm sure I did. Sweetwine's pass open. Caught Boston Sorensen. They should give him forward progress up to about the 36. So you're looking at a 3rd and 7. Yeah, they'll move it up. Yeah, 3rd and 6.
Sorensen looked a little shaken up on that play.
Yeah, he still does. Getting gingerly out to his wide receiver position.
Another big 3rd down. They're 9 of 13.
They're going to call him on a jump.
Yep. Yeah, he kind of flexed his hips there, and he tried to make it look like he said, remember?
False start. Number 5 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Alema did that. He moved, and then he just went into motion.
Well, that's the way to do it. Just fool them. So now you've got a 3rd and 11. They still need to get to the 30. At least get a chunk of this back so you have a manageable 4th if you so choose to go for it. And Keneal Sweetwine firing downfield, intercepted. And a costly turnover.
I think that flag may be a lineman downfield.
Yeah, I would guess.
That will be declined, obviously.
Yeah, I will guess that's what it is, Alema, as well. Pressure on Sweetwine, and he's just trying to make a play. He probably should have just dusted that ball out of bounds. Tried to make a play and threw into coverage.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Number 79 on the offense. That penalty will be declined. 1st down.
Yeah, hard to miss 6'5", 290 pounds or 320 pounds, even harder.
Well, Corner Canyon, let's see what they can do now, because their second half, their first half, they touchdown, interception, touchdown, field goal. So they scored 4 of 5 drives. Second half, they've gone punt, touchdown, punt, fumble, punt. So they've only scored on 1 drive. What will they do here with 6:42 to play, nursing a 3-point lead? And picking up 3 on 1st down, keep that clock running.
Yeah, who do you think got in there and made the stop? Malafau once again.
That guy's had a heck of a football game.
Well, the way that Skyridge runs their defense, they move Toilolo and Malafau kind of all over the place. Sometimes Malafau will drop back in the backer. He's like a linebacker right now.
Malafau 6 tackles already, a pass breakup, and a fumble recovery, and they almost had Brady behind the line of scrimmage. They do.
Malafau is the one that got to him first.
Well, Malafau blitzed. It was like a run blitz from a linebacker position, and no one's accounting for him at the line of scrimmage. He went through the line of scrimmage almost clean.
See him right here, number 5. He's the one that gets in there first. And then Toilolo and the rest of the defense.
Oh, man.
He did the tightrope. Couldn't hold on.
That's where you got to get one of your buddies to come grab you, and so you don't fall off the ledge.
Skyridge making some changes on the defensive side.
Well,
there have been some critical procedure penalties by the Skyridge defense.
Look at this formation. What's going on here?
Stacking them up.
A little
3rd and a
brotherly
yard.
shove.
Yeah, there it is.
That is a mass of humanity. The dog pile. The old dog pile.
I was wondering when the tush push was going to make it to Utah high school football.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm trying to count the ineligible numbers. How many guys with 50s, 60s, or 70s were in on that play?
Pretty much the whole offense.
Yeah, that was the extra large heavy package.
A big first down as we approach 5 minutes to play in this game. Turnovers have been a huge story, but the most costly one, that last interception. And now Kasuga, boy, he gets loose. Better watch out. Downfield and out of bounds. Another FanX first down.
You know, going back to Kasuga running the ball and that designed quarterback run that they have, this was more of a broken play, and he takes off. But on that quarterback draw, as I was talking with Coach Kara, I said, I think Jackson Dart ran it the best. He said, but Dart came from Roy, and he hadn't run it before, and it actually took him some time for him to get, you know, a good feel for it. But once he did, I don't know if anybody ran it better.
I don't know
outside
either.
of maybe Kafensis at Jordan High School.
Well, and on top of it, he was so tough to bring down anyway.
Yeah, it was a monster. By the time he got to his senior season, he was a beast.
First down, Kasuga again.
Yeah, if you needed a couple yards, you knew who was going to get the ball. It was Dart, and he would get the couple yards. Good play there on first down. Nice productivity.
Let's go, team! Let's go, team! Trying to decipher what that towel is that Kasuga has. Is that a Bearcat claw on the back of it? Trying to think of the offers that he has.
Oh, like a Cincinnati?
Yeah. Sweetwater's got a Texas towel.
Sweet wine.
Sweet wine, yeah.
Yeah, he's starting to get some looks already.
Well, he came into this season
But
without having started the game and had 4 offers.
Well, he certainly passed the eye test.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, big finish coming. Just over 4 to play.
It's your thing. Do what you wanna do. I can't tell you who to sock it to. It's your thing. Do what you wanna do. I can't tell you who to sock it to. If you want me to love you, oh, it's your thing. Do what you wanna do. Conference is world class, making everybody say, get ready for game day. Come on down, let's get real loud. Make some noise, all you girls and boys. Scream it out right now, get ready for game day. 'Cause your conference came to play. So turn it up, set it off.
You have guys on a football team that would not necessarily be hanging out if they weren't on the football team together. And that's a cool thing.
Our game recap brought to you by America First Credit Union, where members come first. Stop by your local branch to discover how our team can get you across your financial goal lines. What a wild fourth quarter this has been.
Yeah, Skyridge was down 24-14 after the first half, but they came back here in the second half, and turnovers have played a role. Skyridge on top of that one. Malo foul coming up with a big play, and they're able to turn that one into a touchdown. Ikopo gets in for the score.
And there's where we're at now. 31-28, Corner Canyon trying to bleed this one away. Here's a little wordplay for you. Malafau's first name is Ikopo, and the running back Jared's last name is Ikopo. So if you combine those, it's Ikopo. Ponder that. I got that out of Reader's Digest. Second down and 6. Total of 6 turnovers in this game. Kasuga's been so good at this, and he does it again.
That time, the designed run that is part of the Coach Care package on their offense, and he ran it to perfection. Great blocking up front, and he ran that one with, like, more intent. Sometimes you know, you run that and you get a little apprehensive going through the line of scrimmage. That time, complete intent as he went through.
Flag just came out, so let's hang on here.
I don't know. I'm not sure exactly. I didn't see movement. Someone may have been lined up in the neutral zone. Like, there were so many bodies inside the tackle box. It was hard to tell what was going on.
Well, it's interesting to see a play like that where both teams are stacking the line of scrimmage on a first down.
Yeah, and first and 10.
Illegal substitution on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Didn't get off the field in time.
Well, that, and we've had a number of offsides that have really helped Corner Canyon. Little mistakes here and there.
We didn't really have a lot of penalties until you started talking about how we didn't have a lot of penalties.
We still don't in the grand scheme of things. I mean, Corner Canyon has 3, Skyridge has 6. So we've had games where there's been over 20.
Don't.
We're not even close to that.
Just don't.
It's not going to happen.
A little power I formation here. I like it.
Look at this. There's movement on the left side. Nothing there. Oh, got free corner. It's a touchdown for the Chargers. Mason Brady.
It's always dangerous. Always dangerous when you pack everybody in, because if somebody gets to the next level or gets outside, and you see just an excellent job by Otuafi, who came in as a fullback, and he sealed that edge.
24 yards on the touchdown. And again, that turnover looms large. Big point after on the way. Good looking shot there from Forrest up in the eye in the sky. And it's a 10-point lead once again for Corner Canyon. Let's take a look. Just bounced it outside. Nobody was there.
Yep, a couple of guys, you know, you give all of the action is right there at the middle of the line of scrimmage. So if your guy can bounce it outside, now they tried to do that in the last play. There was the penalty, the procedure penalty, but they tried to bounce it outside. You take a look there, that's Luke Staley that was in that huddle. Former BYU great. There he is, Doak Walker Award winner. He's had a couple of kids come through this program. Man, he was such an amazing athlete. When he exploded onto the scene at BYU.
Who's the line judge over there? It clearly moved.
Uh-oh.
I recognize that voice.
Yeah, I heard him at the Mount Crest game a couple weeks ago.
That was our good friend Jim Herman, former BYU defensive lineman, captain of the 1984 National Championship team. Coach's defensive
he's not the one that said there's 2 teams.
Skyridge.
Got it.
No, that wasn't him. No, but there's talking about some movement on that 2 plays ago at the line of scrimmage that no flag went out on the Corner Canyon sideline.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Remember, right as they hiked, it was on the left side of the line.
You got it.
And they're going to bring this one out. Here we go. Oh man. So big hit shy of the 20. We got to start thinking about MVP. And again, Kershawn Lee, his percentage is just phenomenal. He hasn't had a catch in a while, but he has 5 catches for 160 yards. 32 yards a catch.
Well,
so there's one candidate.
You know, Corner Canyon is playing the smart game here, which is to try to just grind out some clock in the process.
Yeah, that was a very effective scoring drive on the last series.
Well, they got to move it now. Under 3 to play. Sweetwine gets screen, outside drop. That was forward pass, so
that was very close to being a completion.
No, last night's game, we're talking about that screen play, kind of a receiver screen or kind of bubble screen, and how important it is for your receivers to block. I was really impressed with Coach Solomona and his offense and the receivers, the way that they blocked for each other. Those screen passes that they have implemented in their package were very effective, but it's because of the blocking.
Sweetwine again. That pass is caught by Davis Fyans. Another first down.
Great route by Fiennes, by the way. He comes inside and then upfield and then back outside, and that pass was thrown before his break. Great pass by Sweetwine and great catch.
17 yards on the pickup. First down. They'll go the other side to Selu, and he's good open field tackle.
Again, those plays are really just negligible and ineffective if you can't get your guys to block downfield. They've got to pick up at least one, preferably two, of the defenders.
2nd and 12. We approach 2 minutes to play in the game. And that pass incomplete. You guys always love the George Felt factoid of the night.
Let's hear it.
Love it. So Skyridge beat this team, right, 2 years ago in the state championship. You remember that score? It was 17-7. So Eric Kerr's team scored 7 points. In his 17 years and 194 games, his teams have been held to single digits only twice by Utah teams. Once was when he was at Jordan. The other was that state championship game 2 years ago. Can you imagine that? In 17 years, only twice single digits. This is a team, this is a coach, this is an offense that puts up points.
Now their defense that time, but not say Brown getting in.
Yes,
one of the
dilemma.
Younger, talented defensive linemen for them.
And I'll throw this out again. MVP candidates: Rashawn Lee, Helaman Kasuga. Kasuga 11 of 29, not a great number there, but they almost 300 yards in total offense.
I don't think that Kasuga can get it. Lee he was a superstar in the first half, and he's been silent.
Yeah, maybe the defense for 4 takeaways.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, that's been as meaningful as anything on the
really
takeaways in this game.
I think it's really been a key.
Well, we'll see what Skyridge can do here.
Well, they did it. They're on defense.
So I'm saying they've got to try to keep them out of the end zone. They got a minute and 48 seconds to get the ball back to their offense.
Well, I think Corner Canyon just drained about 4.5 minutes off the clock on their last drive, and it was, I mean, they just dialed it up perfectly.
Yeah,
Take time off the clock, score a touchdown.
We'll see more of the same, I would imagine.
I would think so too. Lean on that running game with quarterback, probably Brady.
Busting outside again. Flag just came in. Frank, I'm kind of with you on this, because this game really turned on the interceptions of the defense, the pressure they put on. They got that lead. Granted, and honestly, the turnover's been a factor on both sides of the ball. But at the end of the day, without that defensive pressure creating 4 takeaways, I don't know that Corner Canyon wins this game.
No, the takeaways are meaningful.
On the offense, number 0. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains first down. The clock will start on the snap.
Well, Diesel Dart's got 1 interception, almost had 2. So you're looking at the standouts on the defensive side of the ball, and it's been really a group effort by the 11 guys on defense.
I mean, really, both defenses have shown us a lot of
I think
stuff.
All the plays that were been made just by Malafau in this game.
I mean, you wouldn't think in a 38-28 score they'd be, what do you mean defense? But all of these turnovers led to all this as they continue to salt this one away.
Be a timeout taken by Skyridge. Oh, looks like it's Corner Canyon taking the timeout here.
Positive on that one.
Yeah, the official just pointed to corner.
You know, we touched on this earlier. It's just such a classic example of every time you're interviewing a coach and he's talking about the upcoming game, they always say take care of the ball. Sure enough, they didn't take care of the ball, and it ended up costing them.
Well, I mean, Skyridge, if you look at this game, they're in the first drive of the game, they're going in to score. Fumble. That's 7 points. Back in the second quarter, they're going in to score. Interception. That's 14 points right there.
Fourth quarter alone. Remember when Sweetwine was going to score that touchdown? This wasn't a turnover at that moment, but he trips and falls.
And they
would have had the lead at that point. And then
he
what
was
does he do?
headed to
Throws an
pay dirt.
interception.
There was nothing there except for the turf monster.
By the way, next week we're going to go up visit Westfield, their brand new school, new field. Congratulations to Eric Jones and his Westfield Longhorns. They got their first win of the season, their first win ever, as they're a brand new school. They beat Logan tonight 27-14, and we'll go visit them next week. They will take on Mountain Ridge. Excuse me, Mountain Crest. My apologies. Mountain Crest losing a close game to Skyview, 31-28.
Fox, where is Westfield located?
It's between Roy and Fremont.
Okay.
No, west side, right between Roy and Fremont.
I know that was a joke.
Oh, I get it, Westfield. That's good, Frank.
Thank you. You know, they always say,
by the way,
if you have to explain your joke, it's not a good joke.
There's the trophy we'll be awarding.
There it is. Here's another one for you. We're going to go see Ben Lomond next week. They finally scored.
All right.
What do you mean they finally scored? They haven't scored all season?
They have not scored a point
until tonight.
They didn't win the game, but they scored.
Well,
American
one step
leadership
at a time.
Baby steps.
21-14. Well, maybe they'll get it next week when we have them on the air against Grantsville. So we got Westfield and Ben Lomond both up near Ogden. Now, Lemon's just going to stay up there.
Yep.
He's got a nice suite. It's a local Marriott. And Brady tripped up. How many timeouts do these guys have?
That time Toilolo just reached out his arm and made a tackle without even wrapping up.
That's got to be the final timeout. I think he keeps pointing toward Corner Canyon, but it's Skyridge. Skyridge taking the timeout. I think you're right.
Take a look at that last play again.
Watch the penetration there by Toilolo. Sticks his arm out, boom, knocked him down.
Well, coming up next for Corner Canyon, they go into region play. They'll be at Mountain Ridge next week. And coming up next for Skyridge, they will host Westlake. They go into Region 3 play. Then we get into a lot of really good games coming up here in a few weeks. You got, like Lehigh will play Skyridge here, and that is always a great rivalry. We're going to have that one for you. Lone Peak against American Fork, another one that's always a good rivalry. We're going to have that one. Keeping an eye on Brighton, too, see what they do. West got a big win. Remember, West opened up the season with like 3 out-of-state teams. I don't know what they're. I guess you just want that play clock to go all the way down. Because the game clock ain't moving.
There's a flag down on the field. There's still time on the play clock.
I'm out. Corner Canyon.
Okay.
Bleed that play clock.
Yeah. Did you see what happened? I don't know if you can see that.
They're throwing. What was that?
It was a mouthpiece. A mouthpiece that fell out in the middle of the cadence, and then he reached down.
He reached down and picked it up and threw it back to one guy, and the guy picked it up and threw it back to him.
Oh man, how does a mouthpiece fall out of your mouth?
That's why they have the thing that attaches it to your face mask. So if it falls out, you don't lose it.
Then it just dangles there.
So we're really going to give Eric Kerr another one of those trophies?
I don't know. They're punting the ball right now.
He might be our first back-to-back winner. Well, I mean, still minute 26. We've seen some crazy things in this game. Another flag out. None of this goes against my, my clean, not that many penalties stuff because there's only a minute 17 left.
It all goes against.
No, none of that counts. That was a quarter ago.
The whole game pivoted.
Yeah.
When you said...
Yeah. I felt it down here, too.
I did too.
It was a cosmic shift when you started talking about that.
During the play, sideline warning.
Sideline
On
warning?
Skyridge.
Really?
Yeah, see, that's what happens when you do that. When you jinx.
They just start calling anything.
They call anything.
Pretty soon they're going to throw a flag on me. Sideline
Well, I mean, did
reporter
somebody tell
warning.
them I said that? I mean, how do they know?
Oh, no, people don't have to know about it. Once it's done, it's
the
out
universe.
there.
It's in the universe.
That's what it is. Well, I'll tell you what, this was still just a heck of a game throughout it. Right now, let's see what Skyridge could do to finish things off. A dangerous pass.
It's a great catch right there.
Heck of a catch.
They got to hustle here.
Sidwell.
You got a chance. I mean, you still got time. If you can put the ball in the end zone quick here, you're down 10.
With no timeouts.
Yeah, you got to play the sidelines here.
Sweet wine again. He'll tuck it and run. Gets out of bounds. Shy of the first down, but out of bounds.
Remember, we did the first game of the year was Skyridge versus Timpview, and I said, I want to see Sweet Wine week 6. We're not to week 6 yet.
No, but they're hosting Westlake.
There certainly has been improvement.
Absolutely, there has. Just a couple of mistakes that, he'll learn. He's only a junior as they get down across midfield.
I would take out the opportunity, get up here, clock the ball, stop the clock.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got the clock is stopped for the first down marker to move.
Big 23-yard pickup. There you go, just as you called.
And even, this is all experience for your junior quarterback as well.
Last year, Jackson Stevens was the quarterback. He's a good one. And Sweetwine, we saw him a couple times in backup duty.
Yep.
I had no idea. It was, at times he just looks sensational. He certainly has the look. Big guy firing downfield, caught 30-yard line and out of bounds. Another reception for Hunter Sheffield, 30 seconds to play.
So you're able to run that play, just 7 seconds come off the clock. Maybe you put this ball into the end zone.
Yeah.
Onside kick, get in field goal range.
You got it. Just like that.
16 yards on that pickup.
Flag down.
Counting them up, I think they might have too many men on the field for corner. Be another procedure penalty and move the ball in favor of Skyridge.
Dead ball. Illegal substitution. Defense. 12 men on the field prior to the play. 5-yard penalty. Go first.
Things are getting interesting.
Well, get into that end zone, get that onside kick. We've seen crazy things.
Yes, we have.
It ain't over till it's over, guys. In case you're wondering. Sweetwine getting that ball outside and turning out of bounds. There's your first down. You're inside the 20 now.
You can take a shot here.
Yeah, you can take a shot, and there's some that have a mindset of like, let's get into field goal range where we know we'll kick the field goal, and then we'll do the onside kick, and we got to score a touchdown.
Right.
Because either way, those are that's the combination you need.
Well, especially if you get the fourth down. But point
before
taken.
that.
Yeah, I'm just saying to preserve clock.
Sweet wine.
This you cannot afford.
Yeah, that's the last thing you could do.
Yeah. And the
clock is going to run out. I mean, he might be able to. Yeah. He could clock this and get one more play off. And so he clocks it at 5 seconds. So all you really do is tighten up the game, really, at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think you want to kick your field goal here, Lynn.
No, I mean, yeah, it doesn't. You can't do it now.
As time expires. No, I get it. But your point is well taken. We don't see as many coaches in the. You see that all the time in the NFL. You know, you're down 10, you get the field goal. There's 20 seconds to go, and you got 4th down. You kick the field goal, and then try to get your onside kick. Sweetwine could be the last play of the game. He's going to just take off, and that is going to do it. He runs out of bounds with zeros on the clock. And Corner Canyon, both teams with a lot of turnovers, but Corner Canyon capitalized on 4 takeaways, and they end up beating Skyridge 38-28. We'll come back with our MVP and Frank. A little trophy ceremony right here on American First Credit Union's Friday Night Rivals.
When you're the oldest personal injury firm in Utah, you get to know a few faces. Our team at Robert J. DeBry has the experience needed to get you the compensation you deserve. Not sure you have a case? Dial the number with all the 8s.
You're not just any do-it-yourselfer. You use inspiration to bring projects to life. And just when a project seems too large, you head to your local Sunbelt Rentals. There, you'll find the latest in tools and equipment to make your next job your easiest project ever. Plus, they even deliver to your job site. Sunbelt Rentals, taking DIY projects to an all-new level.
McGee's Stamp and Trophy is Utah's #1 awards and engraving company. McGee's will help you brand your business and recognize the people who make it a success. McGee's has a passion for excellence that will make your accolades more meaningful. From custom-cut acrylics and crystal awards to framing, engraving, and sports memorabilia. If you can dream it, we can achieve it. Let McGee's take care of all of your awards and recognition needs. McGee's Stamp and Trophy in Orem, American Fork, and Salt Lake City.
If you like it hot, then you're ready for the Volkswagen Savvy Summer Sales Event at Big Old Strong Volkswagen. New Atlas with 0.9% financing for 60 months. Or a $3,500 customer bonus. New Tiguan 1.9% for 60 months. Or a $2,500 customer bonus. Plus you get a lifetime warranty, no charge. At Strong Volkswagen. StrongVW.com.
It's a busy morning in your house, but for you, it's just another day. You're the one who makes it all happen. But one day, everything changed. Our team at Robert J. DeBry has the experience to get you the compensation you deserve. Not sure you have a case? Dial the number with all the 8s.
All right, Corner Canyon comes in, gets that 10-point win, 38-28. And our MVP of the game brought to you by American First Credit Union. You know what we're going to do? We're going to give it to the opportunistic defense.
Let's do that.
Taking it away 4 times and doing a lot of other good things.
Oh, yeah, they were fantastic. You got Odoafi coming up here, making a big play. And it was really a group effort. Interception right here. That's Mason Wood that stops a scoring drive and gets it going the other way for Corner Canyon. Diesel Dart also with a pick in this game, playing center field in his safety position. And they had a sack. That's 7 tackles for loss, but this sack right here coming from the junior Jace Kozlowski, and he finally gets home.
Well, again,
the defense was fantastic.
Yeah, in a 38-28 game, you're probably thinking, well, how is the defense the MVP? But you know what? That is how they won the game, with these takeaways. 4 of them, turning them all into points. And it was just a marvelous effort by this Corner Canyon team, especially to come in on the road and do this.
You doing this alone tonight?
So Eric Kerr is on his way over to Frank Dolce to get the trophy, but he doesn't want to be by himself. So he's trying to wave his team over. It's always a little bit awkward.
The visiting team to get the trophy.
Exactly. Because, you know, you want to show some sportsmanship, and probably wisely so when you're on hostile territory, especially rivals. But at any rate, it was, you know, a hard-fought game, and we saw a lot of great things, but again, the MVP, the reason we give it those defenses, both of them really, but Corner Canyon so opportunistic. So let's head down now. Frank Dolce's got head coach Eric Kerr and a bunch of the team. Frank, go ahead.
Well, thank you. I was just telling Coach, this is ridiculous. It seems like we do this every week. Coach, that was a really interesting football game. You know, you had 0 punts between the two teams in the first half, 6 punts in the second half. Yeah. What were the adjustments you made at halftime where you started slowing down that Skyridge offense?
I think our guys just kind of understanding their assignments wise and then executing them a little bit better, and then getting into situation stuff where we could, like, we felt like getting them into a passing situation kind of benefited us. And then on us, on the other end, like, just we didn't execute probably as well. And some of that's because they're a good team and they pressure and they make adjustments too. So they do a good job over there.
What were your thoughts on that last scoring drive? That was kind of a masterclass. You drained time off the clock and then you were able to put a touchdown in that put it away at the end.
Yeah, we got into our heavy stuff, and our running back coach kind of noticed that they were kind of crowding inside because we run Zion a lot in there, and so we ran our off-tackle play, and he was able to kind of break it, so it worked out really well. Yeah, good job by our assistants, for sure.
What do you call that package? Everyone's bunched in around the tackle?
Yeah, we just call it our heavy package, yeah.
You don't have anything more creative than that?
I'm not creative that way, especially with words. That's not my thing, for sure.
Well, I'll tell you what, you want a creative offense and a creative football team, and with that, another victory for Corner Canyon tonight. I don't remember what I called you the first night, but I haven't messed it up since.
Copper Canyon, he was awesome. Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Copper Canyon. The little, I mean, that's like it's like a nickname that we call him. Copper Canyon. Well, Copper Canyon, listen, tonight, with that victory in a rivalry game early in the season, you're the Friday Night Rivals champions. Congratulations.
I think that my favorite part of that interview is that Eric Kerr remembered when Frank called him Copper Canyon.
No, some things you don't forget. He handed that off to his son, Carter Kerr, the last in this group. He's just a sophomore and getting some action, getting some time on the field. But what a performance from Corner Canyon. Bouncing back after that loss to Lone Peak. Victory over IMG. A couple of wins back-to-back on our air. And there's a good look at Coach Ham talking to his team. And they battled tonight. They had to overcome the turnovers, and that gets to a certain point where it's almost impossible to overcome.
Yeah, they got a lot of games left. This is a good football team, so we'll see plenty of them. By the way, you mentioned Carter Kerr. Noah Kerr, we understand, will be starting tomorrow for Weber State when they play at Lamar. So that wraps things up from here. What a night indeed. The producer and director of American First Credit Union's Friday Night Rivals, Harrison Collier. We had Johnny Green back on audio. How did we do that? Unbelievable. Joe Daring, scorebox operator. Matty Smith, our red hat. We saw Forrest up in the old skylift there. Tyson Ewing, Miley Enger on stats. They were marvelous, as they always are. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Great job, our entire Pure Production crew. We'll see you next time.
Welcome to Sugar House Furniture, where we've been selling solid wood furniture at affordable prices for over 30 years. Whether you need a single piece or an entire room, find what you're looking for at Sugar House Furniture, your Mission Furniture specialist.
A little to the left, please. Thank you. A little more.
I'm okay. Get your money working. And for a limited time, get 0% interest for 6 months when you open a new Visa credit card at America First.
You're not just any do-it-yourselfer. You use inspiration to bring projects to life. And just when a project seems too large, you head to your local Sunbelt Rentals. There, you'll find the latest in tools and equipment to make your next job your easiest project ever. Plus, they even deliver to your job site. Sunbelt Rentals, taking DIY projects to an all-new level.
You're even prettier than the day we met.
Thanks, babe.
Your Honour, I object to this entire line of questioning on the grounds that it is not only irrelevant, but it also seeks to prejudice the jury against my client by introducing speculative and unfounded
By the power of Keltron, I cast Magic Missile.
You're the youest you in your home. So make it your home, your way with RC Willey.
The University of Utah is set against the Wasatch Mountains. We ski, ride, and climb those mountains. As one of the leading research universities in the nation, we are working to eradicate cancer, seeking solutions for climate change, helping people walk again, and transforming mental health care. Our mission is to create unsurpassed societal impact. Sound lofty? It comes with the territory.
McGee's Stamp and Trophy is Utah's #1 awards and engraving company. McGee's will help you brand your business and recognize the people who make it a success. McGee's has a passion for excellence that will make your accolades more meaningful. From custom-cut acrylics and crystal awards to framing, engraving, and sports memorabilia. If you can dream it, we can achieve it. Let McGee's take care of all of your awards and recognition needs. McGee's Stamp and Trophy in Orem, American Fork, and Salt Lake City.
What can you get starting under $10 at Cafe Rio? Well, for starters, add some. A little. Oh yeah, you'll need some. And don't forget the perfect Cafe Rio bowls starting under $10. That sounds good.
Welcome to Sugar House Furniture, where we've been selling solid wood furniture at affordable prices for over 30 years. Whether you need a single piece or an entire room, find what you're looking for at Sugar House Furniture, your Mission Furniture specialist.
Thanks for making 2 News #1.
Again.
Now, debris crashes like this aren't that uncommon, according to UHP. Last year, there was nearly 1,300 of them, with just 77 injuries and 1 fatality. This year, there's been nearly 800, with 44 injuries and one death. Reporting live, David Ochoa, KUTV 2 News.
A good reminder to tie your loads down and not drop anything from your cars. That's crazy.
Yeah, could have been bad.
Scary stuff.
Yeah.
Well, at least the roads are nice for driving right now. We're not dealing with snow yet, but I feel like we're careening in that direction.
Things are changing.
Yeah, we are.
We're starting to see a little bit of color up in the high elevation.
Notice
some of those
that.
leaves turning just a little bit here. We're about 3 weeks away from starting to see the peak of fall foliage. So that's right around the corner. We do have a nice little taste of summer, though, as we're heading to the weekend. We're talking about temperatures into the 80s. But if you think that's too hot for you here, there we go. We're going to be dealing with temperatures here up into the mountains into the 60s. So some cooler temperatures heading our way up into the mountains. We've got Snowbird Oktoberfest, as well as Snow Basin is holding their Oktoberfest as well. And Deer Valley has Beer Fest this weekend. So a lot of activities up in the mountains. Going to be a gorgeous weekend for that. We're looking at temperatures here up and down the Wasatch Front. We're into the low and middle 60s as we're cooling things down as we had highs today into the 70s. We're a few degrees warmer than yesterday. Remember yesterday evening, temperatures were falling like a rock here with the northwesterly winds that we saw. It's not going to be nearly that cold later on tonight, but we're getting there in Logan at 56 degrees, 46 in Heber, 57 in Vernal right now. We're at 63 in Moab, 62 in Blanding, 54 already in Panguitch. So we've got a chilly Friday evening to you if you're about to step outside, maybe walk the dog for one final evening stroll here. You're going to need that jacket. Cedar City, not too bad yet, 65, and we're at 77 in St. George, still 80 degrees in Page. No rain out there across the state. We're dealing with quiet conditions all across the Intermountain West. We're watching our next storm, though, moving into the Pacific Northwest already. This will be the storm that will impact us Monday into Tuesday of next week. Out ahead of it, we've got warm air, sunshine for your Saturday. You can see that here as we head into the day tomorrow. Now, Sunday morning, a few spot showers will be possible down towards St. George and Cedar City. Watch what happens into Sunday evening. We could see about a 20% chance for a few isolated showers, some thunderstorms, especially up into the mountains. So just be mindful of that if you're going to be out and about, especially at any of our resorts up along the Wasatch. As we head into Monday, though, that's when things start to get interesting. That storm inches closer to our area. Winds get really breezy here out of the southwest, and that will trigger some more widespread showers and some thunderstorms, with those rain chances even ramping up late Monday evening. So tonight we've got some chilly temperatures. We're falling down into the 50s and 40s, 38 for a low in Heber. We're at 49 in Price. Temperatures tomorrow absolutely wonderful. We're into the 80s, plenty of sunshine. We also have beautiful weather if you're heading out to the football game tomorrow. Temperatures there looking really nice. St. George, you're into the 90s, but we do have to watch out for those few spot showers and storms Sunday into Monday. Cooler weather all of next week. Along the Wasatch Front, we go from the 80s, windy weather, to the 60s. Some rain as we get into Monday into Tuesday. Look at that. Cool conditions all of next week, becoming unsettled as well all the way through next Friday.
On to 10 tonight, no evidence to support claims of an attempted child abduction. That's the word tonight from South Jordan Police. You might remember on Wednesday, officers were called to Ochre Lake for a report of an attempted kidnapping. Tonight, though, police say after talking to everybody involved, there is no evidence that anything like that happened.
All new at 10 tonight, lawmakers and Utah families are weighing in after a military court in the Congo sentenced 37 people to death. Tyler Thompson and Marcel Malonga, both 21 years old, flew to the Congo from Utah for what family believed was a vacation. Instead, a military court in the Congo says they and dozens of others took part in an attempted coup. Tyler's mother says that her son was wrongfully detained and had no knowledge of an attempted coup. They have 5 days now to appeal the death sentence. In a statement released by Tyler's attorney and the Thompson family, it says in part, quote, "We are heartbroken and continue to believe in Tyler's innocence and will be pursuing all possible appellate remedies." And a spokesperson for Mitt Romney releasing a statement to us tonight saying this is an extremely difficult and frightening situation for the families involved. Our office has consistently engaged with the State Department and will continue to do so.
Happening tomorrow, organizers of a Utah fundraiser for former President Donald Trump aim to collect more than $5 million if they can. Trump will arrive in Salt Lake City tomorrow after previously canceling an event in Park City. 2 News spoke to the hosts of the fundraiser, who said some